Yeah, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Round number 8 of the 2025 FXR AOMX Championship in MX Bikes is on here from Deschambault in Canada. So excited to call the action from this one. We're also back. Obviously, a little bit of a hiatus for us personally, 2 weeks off. The race series did go off 2 weeks ago now, and round 7 was ran. TJ actually came out, dominated that one, went 1-1, but tightened things up a lot in the championship, and now we get to roll into round 8 of 12 here this evening. So join me, Kellen Brower, as I jump into the studio alongside my cohort Talon, and we're going to bring you guys all the action here tonight from Deschambault. So sit tight, shall you? All right, now in the booth with my guy Talon. First off, Talon, how are you doing tonight? How's everything going in late October for you?
Pretty good. The championship's going to be exciting. But yeah, I'm just ready to watch some racing. I've done a lot of commentating over the past couple weeks. One race here, and then I did an MX of Nations and bikes for HFR, which is more of an MX of teams. So yeah, figuring out coming back to, co-commentating. But yeah, it's been a fun couple weeks of racing, and the championship has changed quite a bit with you being gone that week.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Before I do, just quickly, I don't know if your microphone is slightly unplugged or something, but there's a little bit of static. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll get it figured out and go along from there. But yes, as you mentioned, championship picture changed a lot last week without me being there, sadly, or 2 weeks ago. But yeah, still a very, very good championship going on right now. We'll go ahead and pop it up on your screen so you guys can see it before we go racing here in just a minute. But here's a look at it right now. Cam, P1 with the red plate. We saw him get it, obviously, at Hawkstone. He was able to keep it leaving the Netherlands, but it was a rough day, a 4-8 for him. Brad actually gained points on him with the 2-4, but the big winner, Cam, going 1-1, dominating in the sand, which we've seen him do very well at the previous rounds in sand as well. So suddenly Cam washed, kind of still in this thing, only 20 and 26 points back, respectively, Talon. This thing could get interesting down the stretch run.
Yeah, it can be. We'll see if I fix my mic. If not, it's oh well. Having a little troubles with the PC. But yeah, it's been kind of interesting with both of them. They've, Brad, we kind of saw a bit of inconsistency after those first 2 or 3 rounds. He just hadn't been able to get on the podium. And then, we finally got back on the podium last week in the sand at Netherlands, or 2 weeks ago now, and looks to hopefully keep it together in another sand race here today.
Yeah, so we'll see what Brad's able to accomplish here in Deschambault, try to get the points lead back away from Cam. Let's talk about qualifying real quick. I'm going to also pull this up on our screen so we can see what happened in qualifying. The 20-minute session, pretty quick session for these guys to turn it around and feel good about this racetrack here tonight. But as we can finally now see it on your screen, there we go. Fastest qualifier, Cam goes 210.033. KFC up in second at a 211. We got a 212 out of Aquas, and then a pretty big gap. Are you surprised to see this, Talon? Because we got 4 seconds basically separating P1 to P4 on the track.
Yeah, kind of. But also on this track, there's a weird thing that we can only allow during qualifying. I think there's a way to kind of jump the finish to get yourself a little bit extra speed, which could have been what we saw, difference-wise in the time between those guys. If not, then Cam's just really liking the track. But obviously in MX Bikes, it's kind of hard to, officiate that in qualifying, jump between servers. But in the race, we're not going to be allowing it. Obviously, I don't know how easy it is to do. But yeah, that could be kind of why. But like I said, if not, then Cam is really just, feeling himself, and then it would be a big surprise for that to happen.
Yeah, so Cam definitely coming in with a lot of momentum just off qualifying. TJ coming in with the momentum from the last round out, and several others trying to stop them from ending up on top. All right, we'll jump back in game. Still a little staticky, Talon, so I'm not sure. I guess we'll just roll with it. No problems there for me. But yeah, so rolling into this round here at Deschambault, as I'll get over the racetrack here in just a second. There we go. What do you like about this track? How does this one lay out, in your opinion, of the talent that we see on the track? We see Cam goes fastest by a decent margin, but it's a bit of a sandy base, like you mentioned, so that might fare well for some of the guys that have done well at these sand races, right?
Yeah, it could, but also, it's a track that not a lot of these guys end up racing. It is one of the tracks that was made for the, Triple Crown Series up in Canada, based off the real-life track of Deschambault. But yeah, like I said, not a lot of people have rid it, so they might not know how well it raced if they didn't get to race it in bikes. So that could definitely change things up. But yeah, with it being sand, Cam's normally good at sand. It was kind of an outlier at last round, so we'll see if he could bounce back at another sand track, or if Brad can continue in the sand whenever he didn't look so good at round number 3 at Flanders. It was whenever he lost a bunch of points as well.
Yeah, and one thing about this track too, and you can visually see it, but also when you play it, you feel it a little bit. Very tight, very quick U-turns back and forth, obviously. So it's one of those tracks where passing is going to be a bit tough because it funnels down to some of those one lines, and the corners come at you quick, so it's kind of also hard to set up passes as well, right?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little challenging for these guys, but they're all pros on every other track that we've kind of thought it was difficult. They've always seemed to find good ways around people. So I'm sure we'll see some good racing nonetheless, but yeah, it might make it a little more challenging, and people might have to be a little bit more patient when it comes to passing, guys.
Yeah, we'll see how the race strategy plays out. If you're just joining us for the first time here, the FXR AOMX Championship in MX bikes. This is a 2-moto format, 30-minute plus 2-lap races as per usual, but one class. So this is combining some of the superstars that we see riding 450s and 250s and putting them on the racetrack together for a big cash prize, of course, thanks to the guys at FXR, FXRracing.com. Check out their new 2026 line. A lot of new stuff in MX bikes from FXR also just dropped as well, so be sure to check out all that and get up to date with the latest in FXR gear. And we thank them for supporting this series, supporting the stream, and cannot wait to go racing here in Deschambault in just a minute. Shout out to Brado in chat as well. Says he's racing here tonight, has been watching me for a long time, and now gets to race while we call the action. I appreciate that. I hope we get to see you on the stream a little bit here tonight. Get out front, maybe battle it up with these boys and see what some other faces are capable of. I feel like we're getting used to, at this point, Talons, some of the same 4 or 5 names really finding their way to the front. We've had a couple names show up and do some damage, but also these established veterans, man, they know how to do the job in MX bikes, and it's kind of showing in this championship.
They definitely know how to get it done. It's obviously all the guys that have always been up front in their respective, regions with Tyler or TJ, Chase, Cam. All these guys have always been up front in the EU and the NA side of things. And, Brad, he's starting to become a front runner in the 250 class, I think, for EU. So, it's all the heavy hitters that people might be used to seeing in aerial. And now they're coming over here and showing why they have speed. And it's all kind of a mixture between the NA and EU guys. So it's always fun to see those guys battle since, the region lock has come into effect. And they can't really do that in aerial anymore.
Yeah, no, it is cool to see the mix of talents that are on display here every single week at the AOMX FXR Championship in MX bikes. We're going to get race 1 going here in just a minute. Again, that 30-minute plus 2-lap race, and overhead view of the start here. It's a short one. Are we even going to get a shift off here? I think these guys might just roll second into turn 1, huh?
Maybe. Some guys, if they're having I know the Fantic in the game does have a bit of a long gearing, so maybe guys will start in first to try to get a jump, especially in the sand, and then shift up to second. But I think, yeah, like I said, maybe second gear might be all the most they can get out of it.
Yeah, not much, because it's, maybe 200 feet being generous in the first corner. It's almost like a supercross start. That's how short it is, and it's a left-hand 90, so even guys in that middle gate will try to swoop around and get a good start. Have you seen many starts even done here yet? Like, where is that prime gate you want to see heading into turn number 1?
Yeah, it's always kind of a little bit difficult, to kind of, figure it out. Obviously, if you go outside of the doghouse here, you got a more straight of a shot into that first corner. But obviously inside, you get to really control it and force those guys outside and maybe even check up. So it's really difficult. I always would love to go more inside of it, so maybe 4 or 5 at most inside of the doghouse. But I guess now we'll get to see as the gate is about to drop here.
Yeah, we will certainly get to see. Good luck to everyone who's been messaging in chat. Obviously, Brado, we got Dizzle subbing up in the Tier 1 sub is 7-month on Twitch. We also got Brock W, Lee Simon, the Hunter, Oles over there, Ducky G, everyone hanging out in chat. Good to see everyone tonight as we get ready to drop the gate. Does look like Cam, our points leader, has that far inside preferred gate. As you were mentioning, KFC, Aquas, TJ, Brock W to his outside. We got Steiner, LV, an empty gate. Someone's about to load in. Timmy, Reed, Nate, Brad, Ocean, Saki, Tommy, Murda, Easter, DA425, Kai, Braden, and then outside the box we got Ducky, Krusty, Karcher, Neon, Chase, Jams, and then way out here, August, Dizzle, Gooey, Bag, Hentai, and Vic. Did anyone take that middle gate? Yeah, someone snuck in here as well. All right, here we go. That 15-second board is about to go sideways, and the revs are going to come up. It is time for round 8 of the FXR AOMX Championship. NMX Bikes here from Deschambault. Let's drop the gate and go racing up north. They're off and running into turn number 1. It's a land rush, and it looks like Brock W got the nose in there first. Ocean to his outsides, trying to get the drive on the straightaway and take over the race lead. Looks like he might do it as Saki's up here as well, but it's Ocean, early leader coming into turn number 2.
Yeah, it looks like Cam got collected by somebody going down behind him, but Saki leading early, Ocean right behind him. We even got Brock W, another fast rider, Timmy, who is, always a fast guy. Whoa, we got some death ruts on the track. That is not good.
Uh-oh, is this going to be, could this be a red flag situation? Because that's going to be brutal for these guys.
Believe it could be.
Oh my goodness, some death ruts on the track. Can't believe where those came from, but for now we'll call it as we see it until anything else gets changed. HW looks like he may have changed into the race lead. Saki goes back to second, Kai third, Cam actually jumps up the inside into third as everyone funnels through to the left side of your screen right there down the order. But new leader out front, HW. I haven't seen this name up front all year long. He's got the early lead. Let's see how long he can hold it.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. That's kind of a call that I'll leave up to Dizzle, as he's one actually riding the track. Kind of gets a good idea. I think most guys are able to go over that death rut. But yeah, leading early is still HW, or actually coming into lead. And he's got a kind of bit of battle. Cam actually able to move quite a bit forward after that early crash, back up into third right behind Saki. So, and a bit of a gap behind him with some breathing room as Neon takes down Kai right back there. So, like I said, got a bit of a breathing room, and now he's looking to set sights early towards the race lead.
No sign of red flag yet as Dizzle just retired out of the race. There we go. We have got a red flag situation. Now, will a track reset fix this, or are we going to need a new server?
It'll probably, not a new server. He'll probably just reset the server real quick in game, so we don't got to leave. That might, like I said, some of that stuff can get caused from people just riding the track. As you can see, it kind of looks like somebody wrote a line, and then whenever you start up the gate or reset the track, it unfortunately creates all these death ruts. So I'll have to wait and see if he will reset the server fully, or if we'll just close the server and start it over once again. But that is a call for him to make.
I will say that that certainly presented a really funny visual. I know that we never want things to go wrong when we're racing a competitive series like this, but sometimes you just got to laugh, because that was pretty funny to see these guys just launch and then end up landing inside of these valleys like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and there you go. There's the server restarts. Yeah. Hopefully it should be good. Yeah, obviously that's not supposed to be there, and it definitely threw these guys for a loop, probably making that jump over that table and landing straight in a bottomless pit. So probably not the most fun thing to have happen, is now we have Dizzle.
Yeah, so according to everybody in the server, somebody's cheating, and that's why that hole is there in the track.
Uh-oh, problems.
Someone's running the Kaizo in our race tonight.
So what do we do? What's going to happen?
I mean, there's not really a way for me to tell who it is. And I don't really want to just eject anybody at random. But, I mean, I reset the server, so that hole's not there anymore. Hopefully it doesn't reappear, I guess. We'll just try to run it.
All right, so whoever it is, we hope you learned your lesson, and this is a warning shot, I suppose, right? Because we don't want to have it happen again.
No, yeah, I mean, if it happens again, we're gonna have to just run it. We got to get the race done, but I mean, just sucks that it's there's people in here that are doing that crap. But.
Yep, always going to be just a few that ruin it for the rest of us, unfortunately. But whoever you are, if it is a situation of cheating, please stop. Come on, let's just run a race. Let's have some fun. It's MX Bikes. It's not supposed to be that serious. We're having a good time out here. So let's have a fun race. Go racing.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so we'll try it again. Hopefully, we'll just Cross our fingers, hope for the best. But yeah, we'll get going here in a second.
All right, that is the update from the man himself, Dizzle, who was in the midst of that. Saw that. I mean, I should have asked him what his viewpoint was coming over that tabletop and landing in a chasm. But yeah, obviously not ideal situation. We'll try to get him re-racked and see what we can have happen here. But really, what this does also, Talon, is the heart rates were kind of spiked, obviously, from the start of this one, and we got 3 corners in before it was all over. So who mentally resets the best from this? Are we going to see a similar situation, similar guys starting up front?
Yeah, we'll have to, wait and see. Obviously, you could bring their heart rate down, and be back to their calm state before a big race. For me, it was always difficult. You get those, the heart rate up, the adrenaline pumping is super difficult to kind of get it down in about a minute or two and then be ready to go again. That was always kind of difficult. So any of these guys that can keep a level head, it'll probably help them out the most. So, guys like Cam, TJ, our front runners mostly, who have always been kind of known to keep a level head as of late. We'll see how good they could deal with that, bit of adrenaline rush before this gate drop once again.
Yeah, it sounds like Brock W's game crashed. A couple other guys got really messed up in all that chaos, so maybe a reset is the best thing for them right now. But also on top of that, there was just some bad starts in general. We saw Cam even have to double or triple clutch because he lifted the front tire from the inside gates. So another thing that could happen here is these guys all learned what the traction is like off the gate on this track and now have a second start to maybe dial things in a little bit further.
Oh, yeah, it'll be really hard to, figure it out. Obviously, if you know that you had a bad jump from one of these inside ones, you're probably not going to go for it once again. But, whenever we restart the server like that, unfortunately, it does tend to, jumble up the whitelisting. So your gate pick, if you were, first, you might not get it the second time around, but we'll have to wait and see how that actually works. I'm not super positive if it fully changes it or not, but yeah, obviously you're probably going to want to pick a different gate than whatever you picked last time. And if you got a good jump, you probably, want to hope you're able to get that same gate once again.
Yeah. A couple people in chat were saying, who's riding the track? Maybe we should keep an eye on it. I am currently roaming the track as quickly as possible just to see if there's anybody else on track that's causing problems and we can call them out. But no one seems to be on the track. It is a ghost town out here right now.
Oh, yeah. I am going to have to keep an eye on, anybody going too quickly in a certain gear because that is a quick, telltale sign of anyone cheating. So I'll probably have to keep an eye on that just a little bit more than normally would when commentating. But other than that, it should be, pretty normal for racing goes. We'll see if someone is cheating for sure, which like everyone says, they're probably more well-known in the game than I am than it probably is. But hopefully we can figure it out quickly. And if not, hopefully they don't ruin too much of the racing.
Yep. Well, maybe if they show themselves now, that'd be great. So we could just kick them and move on with life. But such it is. We will see what happens when the gate drops once again as we are ready to go here in Deschambault. Let's see what the gate selections look like this time. Cam down the inside with KFC and Aqua's right there. Got a one better gate pick on the inside of TJ. HW, who had that early lead last time, he's 5th from the inside. So not a bad pick right there either. Steiner, LV, Reed, Timmy, Nate, Brock W, Brad, Ocean, Tommy, Murda, Jams, Gooey, Kai, and Braden inside of the box. Then outside of the box, we got Ducky, DA425, Krusty, Hentai, August, Karcher, Vic, Bag, Neon, Chase, Dizzle, and Saki. And remember, Saki came out 2nd with that far outside gate, so maybe a sneaky line to use to his advantage. But, of course, the big guns down the inside ready to rev this thing up and go once again. 15-second card goes up and will go sideways in a moment. We'll be racing again here in Deschambault. Let's redo it again. Moto 1 coming at you from Canada. Off and running, better start for Cam. He's going to get pinched, though, but it's not going to be as bad. Brock W this time sneaks through with the whole shot. He's in the race lead with Ocean right behind him. Good start for him. Cam does come out in 3rd. Looks like Easter in 4th as they're all funneling to that inside. A mistake to the outside as Cam moves into 2nd place. Easter 3rd, but they're all chasing Brock W.
Oh, yeah, Brock W having a good start. We'll see how long he can hold on to it, see if he fades late, which we've kind of seen multiple times, but it looks to be running away with it with Cam right behind him in pursuit. your red plate holder trying to make something happen right behind him. Easter is still battling with LV for third, and then they got Chase right behind him.
Yeah, Cam actually closing up on Brock W. Might have a shot for the lead, and he does at the top of the hill. Brock W. getting sideways in that rut in the off-camber corner after the tabletop. Cam into the race lead, and just like that, your fastest qualifier and points leader is out in front. Now, given what we've seen from qualifying alone, it would suggest he might take off and run with this thing. But how about last week? I don't know where he was off the start last week, but maybe some of those demons still haven't worked themselves out. He's got to try to get this thing and run away as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see. I know last week he did have two pretty bad, starts. So this is definitely a lot better for him. And he's starting to pull away. It looks like LV is looking to get down the inside of Brock along with Chase as Brock goes around the outside trying to get back by him.
Ooh, they're getting all kinds of sideways coming down the hill as LV goes middle rut. Look at Chase up the middle, trying to sneak through these guys. They're rubbing number plates on the step up right there as LV pushes Brock W wide, and Chase gets a twofer, but Brock goes back by in a second place. Fantastic fight for second place here on the track.
Yeah, Brock definitely holding his own, playing some good defense out of these two, and Chase really trying to, get up there in a hurry. Unfortunately, missed last round, so he's trying to regain those points to get back into this, fight for P4, even though he is a big, points gap away from him. But passing these two would definitely help, and then he has a good chance of going back after Cam, as he is one of the other guys, that's won by a big shot whenever it comes to getting out front early.
Fight for second, still going heavy with Chase in that 4 spot. Brock W and LV almost hit as they come down into the gully, up and underneath the Triple Crown Bridge, and back onto the straightaway towards the starting gate. Around the outside, actually, Chase trying to get a pass down on LV, scrubs the table nicely. He's going to have to go to that outside, and he goes down. Didn't quite get back to the rut that he wanted. Still went for it anyway, loses the front end, and loses quite a bit of time. So here comes KFC. TJ's up into the 6th spot. Dizzle with a good start right now in 7th, mixing it up here ahead of Timmy. We got Gooey in the 9th spot, and Ocean and Steiner battling it out for the 10 position. Your guy Dizzle, though, a top 10 start. Can he hold it up here as he's battling with TJ?
Yeah, he's doing good. He really loves this track. He got a chance to race it in real life for a couple years, and now he's getting to do real good. He liked it in the game. I think he did some good results whenever he was ran, and now he's battling with our defending champion as he's looking to maybe make a way by him as TJ is making a few mistakes jumping down this hill.
Dizzle looks inspired out here as he gets to the inside of TJ. Can't quite make that pass just yet. TJ nails that triple up the inside off the table to the roller and gets a little bit of breathing room as well. They're still chasing down KFC just up the road, and it's pretty close up to him. Up front, Cam has pulled this out to 6 seconds, so he's looking to take off with this. But I feel like Brock W on back, we've still got a lot of battles to be settled here. Only 3.5 minutes into this race, so much time left on the clock as Dizzle and TJ still going at it. This is great stuff, man. I've not seen Dizzle ride this well all season long. He looks way, way more comfortable on a track like this.
Oh, yeah, definitely, putting in the work, getting some speed back going. And we'll have to wait and see as there is a little bit of a battle behind him between Timmy, Steiner, and Reed. And I think Steiner might be on a 350 if it's the same that he ran in qualifying. So really putting that 350 power to work up here.
Yeah, talk about the differences with that, because we mentioned it is a tighter track, but it's got that sandy base, so you maybe want a little extra power to stay up on top of it. Steiner going with the 350 option, just maybe a little bit better low-end power from corner exit, but then he'll have to deal with all the problems on the straightaway, I guess?
That might be why. I mean, he was, kind of begging Dizzle if he could ride a 250, even though we are mainly, the MX1 class with 350s and, 450s. And he said, I found a way around you not letting me ride a 250, so he decided to run with the 350, probably just out of spite at Dizzle. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, he's still doing pretty good on it. And, yeah, that might be helping him, be able to hold his pace up and not have to let off as much as these guys around these corners.
Yeah, it depends. Maybe he's a rever, a wide-open type of guy around the racetrack. Doesn't like to be a gear high and let that bike bog down a little bit. So we'll keep an eye, because now he's going to close up on Dizzle here in a little bit. Dizzle has fully lost the touch with TJ. Meanwhile, TJ all over KFC. Chase closing up on LV and Brock W up the road. I don't know which battle is a better one to watch. Let's go up to Chase, because he's all over Brock W trying to get into the 3 spot as we drop down into the canyon. Look at Brock W sending it down the hill. Big pips bounce at the bottom. To the outside goes Chase, and he just sneaks by to make that pass into 3rd place. Hops off the track, gets back on sideways in front of him. They're all over the place up here as Brock W gets back to the inside. He's going to move into 3rd. No, Chase to the outside gets it right back.
Yeah, definitely some sketchy battling as these guys are trying to go all forward. It's Brock W. back down the left-hand side, jumping right over Chase. They're crossing lines left and right. Outside for Brock W. See if he gets a drive. He can't. Chase is going to get a drive back up the hill. Have the preferred outside line here, and Brock W. unfortunately has lost that touch with the small mistake at the end. So now Chase sent his sights after LV for that P2. But out front, Cam, he's up to 11 seconds ahead of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely laying it down at the front of the field. He's on the backside of this thing right here as we see our race leader Cam almost 2 whole straightaways ahead of LV, holding down the 2 spot on that 950 NGS backed by DRS Yamaha. And he's got himself a bit of a gap now. All that battling that Brock W. and Chase were having has opened things up. Looks like Chase made a mistake because now he's back in front of TJ, and KFC's moved up to the 4 spot on track. So just as quickly as Chase was on the move, looks like something reached up and bit him somewhere because he's fallen back down the order a little bit. Now he's got a handful of the number 1 machine.
Yeah, so I might have tucked the front end and think Brock W. might have got into him as well after he got back up. But, you know, TJ trying to make something happen, trying to move forward again. As you said, he did lose a little bit of touch to KFC, but now he's got to set his sights on Chase. A different riders. Looks somebody's off track. That is KFC right up ahead of him, getting back on track, and now Chase looking to make a pass on him.
And these guys are all over the place as KFC lays it down before the tunnel, gets back on and hits TJ sideways as he is trying to rejoin. Both of them get moving rather quickly, but questionable decision-making right there by KFC, getting up sideways and pinning it. So Chase now opens that gap up. He is all by himself in the 4 spot trying to run down Brock W. How about LV up here in the 2 spot? Another name that we have not seen running near the front very much, but a good start for him and holding steady with this lead pack, almost looking like he belongs up here on a regular basis with how comfortable he looks in the 2 spot.
Yeah, we somehow, you know, as of late, we've been seeing a lot of guys running up front that aren't usually up there. And, you know, it's good to see a little bit of a different group up here. Obviously, Cam, you know, he's been up here a lot. He has that points lead for a reason. But LV making things interesting. And then Brock and Chase back to battling again right behind him.
Yeah, we'll go back to that battle. And yeah, Rufio, don't worry. Our guy Talon with the static right now, he is in the helicopter. He's giving a chase. He's like giving us a news report to some high-speed action on the freeway right now. But the action is actually down on the racetrack as Chase runs down Brock W. for this 3 spot. And Chase looks fired up here tonight. Almost looks like if he could have started with Cam, he might actually have the raw speed to go with him. But unfortunately not the case here this evening. Now working on Brock W. Where does he even try to set up a pass, or is it literally just limiting the mistakes and getting as close as he can?
Yeah, I might be trying to get as close as he can. You see all the, you know, dark spots on the track where they're mostly going. You know, a lot of insides, very few outsides, except for right here, but both of them go inside, try to hold on together. And yeah, it looks like he's diving down the inside here, making something happen as Brock did a mistake on the outside, not able to hold it together and stay ahead of him.
Man, and Chase absolutely nailed that inside rut as well. Beautiful line to get there, but then misses this right here a little bit, has to go to that middle rut. No harm, no foul. Keeps it up on 2 wheels. Now it seems like LV starting to feel the effects of being up here a little bit. He is falling to the clutches of these guys rather quickly. Of course, we know Chase is on the charge, but even coming with him, Brock W. is trying to mix it up as well. And then a few seconds back to KFC and TJ. Chase does not want to waste any more time. He wants to get into 2nd place. He's on LV. Now it's about trying to set up a pass once again.
Yeah, definitely trying to make something happen quickly. We'll see. He's still got 20 minutes to, you know, get by him and then maybe try to get a charge after Cam out front. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. It looks like my internet being a little spotty here, but, you know, we'll continue going. But LV, you know, he's playing good defense, keeping all the insides strong and not really letting Chase have a good chance to get by him.
Yeah, Chase is getting a little flustered right now trying to make that pass happen as LV, like you said, the good defense is working. Now, can he cut this line off to the outside? Yes, he does. Just get back over there to block the line. Chase used that to make that pass into 3rd place a couple laps ago. This time, though, it doesn't work. He gets sideways, LV does, in transition on the tabletop. Loses that position. Chase goes right on by into the 2 spot, and now he is looking ahead thinking, man, am I leading this thing? He is not, though. 17 seconds up the road is Cam. Long way to get there if he will, but if anybody could do it, we know Chase. He's the closer in this game. He comes from deep down the field and makes stuff happen.
Yeah, he's always good at those late race charges, really good at, you know, putting a good distance between himself and the guys behind, and especially chasing guys down with open field. He's definitely a really good rider at that. So, we'll have to wait and see how much farther he can move forward. And, everyone's starting to kind of spread out, and it's kind of starting to become single file and not too many battles happening anymore up front.
Yep, definitely single filing up a little bit right here. In fact, maybe not the worst time ever to take you guys through a quick running order of where everybody's at right now. There is our race leader Cam coming up the hill. We'll look back this way, see Chase going by in second, LV in third. There's Brock W in fourth, KFC in the 5 spot. TJ going over the bars on your screen in sixth. Going to lose a spot to Steiner going up into the 6th spot over TJ now in 7th. We got Reed running in the 8th spot. Nice ride for him. Aqua's coming down the hill in 9th, and Dizzle rounding out your top 10 ahead of Ocean. Good fight for those two guys battling it out for 10th. Nate in the 11th spot, or 12th spot, I should say, coming down the hill. Looks like he just got around Timmy, who was off track, as he comes back in your screen right there. A little bit further up the hill here and find HW going by with Tommy. Brad way back here. Neon Murda also down the order. And this is rounding out to our top 20 positions. Gooey back here as well. Looks like he's in 19th, and we should see Bag coming through any minute. No, it's Saki actually coming through now ahead of Bag in the 20th spot. But I wanted to go back and point out another name I saw back here. Brad, he is struggling again behind Tommy. Seemed to find the flow a little bit last week in the Netherlands, or 2 weeks ago in the Netherlands, I should say. But we are back to what we saw out of him at Hawkstone and the round before that. It's just not going way for our early championship leader.
Just hate to see it from him. It looks like he finally found his flow again and might start clicking off those podiums, but unfortunately it just did not work. That week break did not benefit him, and now he's battling with Neon back here for P14, and this might ruin the championship for him and might, hinder his chance of even having another shot at it late in this series.
Yeah, the consistency has fallen off. He started the year so strong with consecutive podiums and a race win as well in the mix there to get him set on the right foot and have that early red plate, and it's just slowly diminished away from him. Gained a little bit of those points back last week, but no can do here so far in Deschambault, and Cam with a dominant lead right now is making it look way too easy at the front of the field. I can't even find him how far he's gone. There he is, as he's working his way around Krusty. Krusty puts the hand up, lets him go. I mean, if you're Cam right now, it's just everything is clicking again. Get out of those sandy tracks that you didn't really like. And I know we talked about the sandy base of this one, but it's not that deep sand that he's been frustrated with. And it looks like he is back in his comfort zone, back to the Cam we know. And I don't know how you're going to stop him, especially with starts like he's been getting.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be challenging for these guys. But, one man could be Chase if he just gets a little bit better start. It looks like he's might have cut down that gap down by a second already. So he's slowly cutting it away, but we'll have to wait and see if he has enough time to make it happen. But yeah, right now it's looking like he's the only man that might be able to stop him.
Doesn't seem like, to me at least, this track is really diminishing these guys too much with the cuts or the penalties. Maybe you can give us some insight into if there's a lot of cuts or not, but it seems like these guys are either staying on the track very well or not getting bothered too much by going off track.
Yeah, a lot of guys, almost everyone has some cuts, but it's all 3 seconds or less, minus a handful of people. 2 or 3 people have more than that. So yeah, definitely not as many cuts as we're used to seeing, but when it comes to racing, that just either these guys might not be pushing as much, or like you said, the track just allows a lot more freedom for these guys to go a little bit more outside of the boundaries and have a little bit more chance of racing and pushing the limits here today.
I like that. I don't know if you feel the same way, but when we get to these aerial races or these types of tracks that, I get it. They want to keep it tight. They don't want people going off the track every lap and finding sneaky ways to cut and stuff like that. But I also feel that when there's so many penalties up on the board by the end of the race, it kind of diminishes from the on-track action a little bit. So I like when these guys have the ability to play around, kind of self-police, self-govern a little bit, and the cuts are to a minimum.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely prefer it. As a racer, it kind of sucks getting a bunch of cuts that you don't think. Obviously, a lot of they're all hand placed, so there could be a little bit of human error of maybe being too close, being over a marker just a little bit too much. But yeah, I think here in bikes they do maybe make it a little bit too strict when it comes to the aero racing, but everyone's learned to deal with it and, try to figure out ways to, get around it and try to get as little cuts as possible.
Yeah, hugging walls everywhere and trying to stay inside the stakes a little bit, but finding the sneaky ways around the big bumps that are laid out on the track. And I mean, can't blame them. That's what the real pros do. So we're going to obviously see it from the pros in MX bikes as well. I'll talk about this. How about Cam and Chase starting to tighten it up just a little bit down to 11 seconds. Chase had got it to about 10. So we're maybe one big Cam mistake away from this being much more of a race than we thought it would be. Cam was inching away in the early half of this thing, and suddenly Chase is knocking at the door of opportunities. So if you're Cam here, got to lock in, but easier said than done, especially with the track continuing to deteriorate.
Yeah, it's definitely, going to be a little challenging, but, he kind of does a little bit of a Jet Lawrence. He might pull it out early, but then he will settle down into a pace that we've seen. I think at Flanders, he kind of settled in, and then he got caught up by guys behind him, and then he was able to hit the gas late. So I think he still has something in the reserve in case, Chase does catch him. But right now, he's just trying to be consistent and not have as many crashes as he would, trying to go full speed the entire moto.
Always a bummer when you pull out early and don't finish the job, but Cam is going to see what he's able to accomplish here with the race lead. Chase still about 10 seconds back, and they have opened it up quite a bit on the rest of the field. We'll go back a little bit further, and we should see LV coming down the hill right here in the 3 spot. There he is. And then Steiner on the 350 on the charge has gotten around a few guys around Brock W, around TJ. He's all the way up to 4th place, and it seems like the charge is far from over because he's absolutely ripping around this track.
Yeah, he's putting that 350 to work, and he's going a lot faster than I probably could on a 450 on this track. So he's really showing how much pace he has, and if he was on that 450, who knows if he could even be up a little higher. But yeah, he's definitely shown these guys that he is one of the better riders in the field, and we'll see if he has anything for LV, who is only a couple seconds up the road of him.
And the second we start talking nice about him, he crashes twice off the track, loses a couple of positions. Looks like Reed went by. We also saw KFC and Brock W go by. TJ's dropped all the way back to 9th. So rough go for the defending champion. But how about Reed getting up in the mix as well? Sneaky in the group here with Aquas and KFC. Steiner obviously as well. I think Reed has a little bit more cuts than all these guys, but still, this is a pretty solid ride for the BFS Elevation backed by Genesis Fantic. Oh, as he goes down, and then Aquas hits him as he gets going. I'm just going to stop saying nice things about these guys. Everybody's crashing as soon as I start talking.
Curse on all
I was just going to say nice things about Reed, and then he crashes 400 times. So let's go talk about how, if we want to see a battle, maybe I should just go talk about Cam a bunch up here.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, Chase still bringing it down. It's down to 9 seconds now, so he's slowly but surely bringing it in, and I think he has enough time, but ultimately, no, towards the end of it, he's got about 11 minutes and 2 laps left, so the pace he's bringing it down, I think he will, we will have a good battle towards the end as long as he's able to hold it together and get through all these lappers smoothly.
And crucially, I feel as though he can finally start to see our race leader a little bit. Well, now he can really see him because Cam was just down before this back tabletop. So suddenly it is on at the front of the field. Cam and Chase are no less separated by about 2 or 3 seconds, maybe even less than that now. As we go down this back straightaway, the mistakes have come to bite him. Cam is all the way back from his 16-second lead to about 1 second, and Chase is brought this gap down slowly but surely. The consistency has paid off. Now we got a race for the lead here in Deschambault.
Yeah, definitely got to wait and see what he could do here. He might be eyeing up a pass. You see him hitting a couple different lines, seeing how quick they might be working to get around him or how many times he does have to follow him through these corners. So we'll see how patient he takes it. If he, is sizing up for a pass, he's looking down the inside there, or if he's going to try to get him as quick as possible and try to pull away as soon as he gets by him.
Man, this is going to be a good one. Tune in tight on this one, folks. 10 minutes and 2 laps to go. Cam versus Chase. Moto 1 here at Deschambault as we go through into the second half of this racetrack. And this is getting treacherous out here, man. Some of these bumps are looking brutal. The ruts are getting deeper. Line choices are starting to change. And you can see as they go around August, who's just waiting for them both to go by, does not want to be involved. Oh, there might be a little mistake. Cam gets hung up in the rut, but Chase able to back out just enough to not hit him. And they continue on in their battle, pretty much status quo. What do you like about what you're seeing out of Chase's lines right now? Because it seems like he's looking around and finding some good stuff.
Yeah, it seems that he's always looking for alternate lines here. He's always one of the first people to actually switch to him once the track gets rough, and it might be helping him look for a pass. He's going down the inside here, actually backs out of it, does not want to make contact with Cam this early, and it actually cost him the drive down the big straightaway from the whole shot line.
That would have been an aggressive pass if he did end up going for it. Might have resulted with both of them on the ground. So better to back out of it. Discretion, the better part of valor, as they like to say. And this time, Cam holds the lead. But how long can he keep it? Or will he actually pick the pace back up and get away from Chase? Seems inevitable with Chase's speed right now, the consistency that he has found on this racetrack. But you just never know. This is where Cam crashed last time by. Looks like he went a little bit slower through there, just trying to mind his manners and not get hung up. We got Karcher getting out of the way as a lapper as well, so could be thinking about that. But doesn't seem like that early flow we saw from Cam is there anymore. He looks a little bit flustered about line choice, and he wants to maybe search around, but also has to do the defensive lines to not let Chase get in there and make a pass. And now down he goes with the race lead, and just like that, Chase goes to the front.
Yeah, he didn't have the liberty of being able to look for alternate lines, because if they do end up slower, Chase is right there to capitalize. So, and then unfortunately with him having to stick in the roughness there, it just caught him out, tucked the front end, and down he went. So now we'll see what he has for Chase as he does almost a backflip over that tabletop and ends up going down, so it's going to cost him even more time. And now Chase has some breathing room to try and pull away here. And now he could also look for more alternate lines to see if he's quicker anywhere else on the track.
If you're Cam, got to settle down. Some great position championship-wise with Brad absolutely demolishing back there in the 16 spot. And Chase missing last week, not much of a factor in the championship. So is there even a part of Cam here that thinks, whatever, I'll hold on a second here. I'll take those points, because Chase is going to have to do a lot of work to catch him on the points situation. And Cam has got even more to think about with all those other guys.
Yeah, it's definitely, he's got a big room. Wash, who I think was third, he didn't show up tonight, so that is a big spot for him. And then the next closest guy would be TJ, who he's got 4 positions on. So, yeah, if he's singing championship, I don't know if he goes after, Chase once again. It's like we see August, I think he might be out of gas, which is why he was rolling so slow between those guys. But yeah, so if he's singing championship, I don't really see him trying to push it. Maybe just trying to hold on, as he does have a 20-second gap back to LV for third.
Kudos to August, who is actually just pushing his bike, did run out of gas. I'm assuming he's going to get it close to the finish line and wait for everyone to finish to actually get scored. But just pushing the bike all the way to the flag, getting what he can. I respect that. I mean, obviously don't get in the middle of the racing line or anything like that, but if you want to finish the race and you're out of gas, that's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's got 6 minutes to make it all the way to the finish line with about 4 sections to go till he gets there. So we'll see if he makes it in time or not. But, yeah, definitely, it's always sucks to see guys run out of gas. Probably put on the qualifying setup with him running out probably about 5 minutes ago, so about 10 to go. So, or he's expecting a 20-minute moto. But, yeah, it always sucks whenever you're the guy to run out of gas. But, I mean, at least he's still here to finish it. And he wasn't, getting in anybody's way with the racing, so that helps out a lot. As Cam is down once again, so I think he might call it a done race unless Chase has some more mistakes up front and just try to pull out a P2 here.
Yeah, just certainly can't let it go too bad. Can't fall back to the LVTJ stages. Got to try to lock down and hold on to this second spot. Just onto the topic of fuel again, though. Do you almost wish that there was something, I don't know if this is like even possible with the way the game's coded or something, but for a little pop-up window when you load into or try to go to the gate or something, for a little danger sign, like might not have enough fuel to finish the race with so many gallons. Like, I don't know if there's a way that could be done, but it would be nice if Pibbs or someone could just be like, yeah, man, this is a 30-minute race. Check your gas.
Yeah, it would be nice. Obviously it's not like a big warning sign, but Maxima does have a fuel mileage left, whether it's liters or gallons for how much you put in. So I know a lot of people, if they do one moto and they put in a lot of fuel, they'll see how much they have left at the end of that, and they're like, oh, I'll just subtract that from whatever I added last moto, and then there we go, we got our perfect fuel consumption. But I know a lot of guys go about 8 liters, I think. It's probably less. I go by gallons, which I go up to 1.5 gallons of fuel, and normally it works. Oh, it looks like we got Tommy pushing August to the finish line here as well, since he ran out of gas. So he's giving him a little nudge here, try to help him forward. Even though Tommy's in some points, he's trying to help his buddy out, it looks like.
the spirit of MX Bikes lives on, and we're going to get our guy August all the way to the finish line. Little nudge, little help from your friend there as Tommy gives him the push. Got to get out of the way of these guys, though, man. You can't be in the main line. Get off the main line. You'll get to the flag eventually. Tommy looks like he's like, okay, I'm going to get out of the way. We're in front of everyone. Kai goes through, and August is waving his hand. I had to stop to even give a hand gesture to say thanks. And Tommy's still going to push him, but you can't keep pushing him right here. You got 4 minutes to wait at the flag. What is he going to do? A whole nother lap of pushing him? That's ridiculous. So get out of the way. Let these guys go. Fun stuff to be had, though. And, hey, we found a battle watching these guys, too. LV and KFC going at it for third place on track right now. TJ not too far back from him. KFC has been sneaking up to this position almost the entire moto as LV tries to hold on to it. And finally, he's here. So this is a good fight for third place.
Yeah, definitely a close fight for P3. You got to be careful, KFC. A lot of the times we have seen in the past where towards the end of a moto, if he has one bad crash, he will end up quitting even though he is top 5. So we're hoping he finishes this one. And with the podium, it's looking like it might happen. They'll be able to finish this moto. So we'll have to wait and see as he's looking down the inside. As LV made a small mistake. He gets sideways and down he goes. So LV has a little bit more breathing room. So KFC has to, reset and try to move back forward after him.
Boy, KFC looked like he got a hellaciously good drive down that back straightaway and maybe didn't realize how much speed he had coming down off that drop down. Grabbed a handful of brake, got sideways. Down he went, but Valiant tried to make that pass and still has a shot at it. Not too much time was lost in the end. Got lappers coming up. Karcher will be in the way here in a moment. And TJ back here. So KFC looks as though he may have about 2 or 3 seconds more cuts than TJ based on timing right now. But then how much does LV have? Because it looks about right. Maybe a little less.
Let me double check real quick. So let's see. LV has 3 seconds. TJ has 2 and KFC has 7.
Okay, so KFC does have quite a bit more. So he's going to have to get around LV and kind of take off with this thing. Curious to know if LV is aware of that situation, but also can't sit on your laurels too much because TJ is finally starting to get the ball rolling here late in this race. Our defending champion, up and down mid portion of this race for TJ. He was really fast at one point, then crashed a bunch, and now he's back on the gas again. And as I say that, he gets hung up in the rut a little bit right there. So should stop talking about him if I want him to do well. The commentator curse is unreal tonight. I guess we're just that close to Halloween that things are starting to feel a little bit weird. But either way, yeah, TJ's starting to figure things out a little bit. I'm not sure if you can visually see what's the difference with him. Maybe just found a couple lines similar to what Chase, and then Chase connected the track together better?
Yeah, maybe. Also could be that he's just not playing it as much. Obviously, season has been done for quite some time, so we might just be showing up to the races and whatnot, which obviously always affects someone's level of pace. And, it could also be his comfortability. Like I said, at the beginning of the season, he did unfortunately end up breaking his back. And I think he does have to play laying down in his bed. So that could be, a comfortability issue for him whenever it comes to racing these motos and, learning to deal with that slowly over time. And, maybe he just ended up in a wrong position tonight, and that could, affect how he's feeling when racing and, these last minute to go for him trying to finish this race out strong in a P5.
Yeah, I don't know how it is with you, Talon, but if I'm ever in not my perfect arched sitting positions, distance from the screen, even slightly off of my normal technique of playing these games, I feel like everything's way wrong. So I cannot imagine trying to lay down and figure out how to comfortably play this game and look at the screen correctly. Maybe if it's hanging over his desk or whatever, or his bed or whatever, but that's got to be a whole problem in and of itself of just trying to figure out how to play the game again almost.
Yeah, it's definitely, everyone all has their unique, play styles. I've heard of, one of my friends, I think he said that he lays down and has his feet up somewhere, on the side on a wall or something, or has his legs crossed or something. I personally always played kind of all the way leaned back in my chair. Don't know why, but that's how I always felt comfortable. And a lot of guys play, sitting upright forward, so it's always a challenge to swap from your normal seating position to a new one, especially since he really has no choice. He's kind of forced to do that. It's hard for him to really find a middle ground, and yeah, it's got to be really difficult for him to figure that out, which could be why we don't see him as dominant this season as we really did last year.
Well, credit to him either way of still getting out here and racing every week, competing, obviously winning last week as well. Not quite doing the same so far this week, but who knows? Things could turn around in Moto 2. All right, time has expired, and our leaders have already gone through the finish line pretty long ago now at this point. So where is Chase? Looks like he is coming up the hill before we go back through the gully to the other side of the valley. Got himself, what is it, 10, 15 second lead now over... it's even more than that, it feels like, over Cam. It's getting even bigger as the race goes on, and Cam has settled into the second spot, at least rather nicely, but Chase has just really figured this track out. The roughness has come into play, and Chase knows how to handle these rough racetracks when it really gets gnarly. Looks comfortable, feels comfortable pulling away out front.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of seen it all year. If he has a top 10 start and he's able to move to the front quickly, get to that podium to top 5 spot with 20 minutes to go, it always seems like we see him out front and then pulling away from everyone. But if he doesn't have that great a start, I think the best he gets up to is maybe a podium. So it's always been the starts with him. He's never gets a really good one, a whole shot, but he's able to make everything the best out of bad situations, and he knows how to move through the pack here.
Yeah, and I mean, look, we can even go back to early on in the race. He had a couple really, bad crashes in a row that dropped him from a battle for third place all the way back to 6th. Regrouped, found the flow, found the different lines, and sometimes that also is the benefit of you don't want to have a bad start, but not starting with the race leads, being able to keep it close enough that you can see the leaders, and then you get in fights and you figure out these different lines on the track and you figure out what works and what doesn't when setting up a pass or even gaining time around the racetrack. So Chase, at this point, with having the passes that he had to make and all the time that he gained back up on Cam, may have actually found the sweet spot on this racetrack. Now, it's going to change. The track will continue to get worse in Moto 2, but think of the benefit that he has already from even just having to figure out how to make those passes and the different lines he was taking.
We got a very young Garrett Marchbanks in our series right here with Chase. Like you said, he's able to find ways around people that guys like Cam probably never would have known about because he didn't have to pass too many people, only 1 or 2 people to get to the front. Whereas Chase had to pass, it seemed, about 10 people and repass a couple guys 2 or 3 times. So, really a big benefactor coming to the pack, even though it doesn't seem like a really, good blessing for him. He probably hates having to come through the pack each and every week, but it really does benefit him. And, another problem with starting out back is if he gets a good start, he might get a little nervous just being out front for the first time in a long time, and it could definitely affect how he rides with the good start compared to always getting a bad one.
Yeah, I feel like in every game, even in real life, whatever it is, you just see these guys that they don't ride very well from the front, and sometimes they need to come through the field to win these races. I don't know. Chase might not exactly be that name because he's won championships before, but still, it is interesting to see. The starts haven't been there for Chase this year. We'll probably talk to him post-race after Moto 2 about that, but he's been very calm and calculated about getting to the front, and these late race charges have really paid off for him as he continues on with the race lead, down to less than 2 laps to go, lap and a half, and it is just a chasm from him on back. I mean, 42 seconds all the way back to LV, who still has KFC trying to run him down. So there's about, 6 seconds of cuts between them at this point. But, and now down goes LV, so KFC's going to get him on track. But again, KFC's got to really pull away from him to solidify P2, because TJ's still ahead of KFC as it runs. And now TJ can probably see them fighting up there and wants to get up there and maybe battle for third place as well. So LV's not out of the water yet here.
Yeah, TJ looks to be finding that late race charge, and we'll see how close he can get to LV and KFC here. Like I said, he already has KFC on cuts, but LV being those 4 seconds ahead. We'll see if LV decides to battle with KFC or let him go, because, the more they battle, the more that's TJ having, open space to catch him just a little bit. But, yeah, KFC, it looks to be, a decent-sized gap between the two of them, but we'll wait and see how much farther he could get. And I think you'll notice that where he gets a lot of his cuts is he's looking off to the side of these tracks to kind of shorten the jumps, stay lower, and that's where he ends up getting a lot of his cuts. So, he's always trying to shorten the track, stay lower, stay more on the power, but he's hoping that by doing that, even if he gets cut, he'll still have, enough time gained to where the benefactor staying lower will help him out in the long run.
One more lap to go. Well, let's see what happens in this LV, TJ, and KFC battle up here. Is KFC still behind TJ when they correct for penalties? So TJ is going to try to get this thing nice and close and try to make something happen, as they have totally dropped Steiner, who's outside the top 5 in this race. He's going to come through with Reed, and we are going to work our way back towards turn number 1 and beyond to try to find our race leader and our soon-to-be race winner. Dizzle looks like he fell down a little bit, back to 10th. And then only a few other guys still on the lead lap. Chase is about to stamp this thing home with authority. Looks like Timmy's still on the lead lap. And then we got Chase coming down. He's going to hit this big double right here one more time. I'm surprised how easy this big double is for these guys. I know that in real life it's possible, but not like an every single lap thing for privateers. Like, I feel like it may be built that slightly wrong, but that's okay. It is what it is. It's still a very good track. And we got a few turns left to go before Chase puts the finishing touches on his masterpiece. Moto 1 here at Deschambault has been a terrific ride for the ChaseBlackSuspension.com KTM. The 11 machine is back, and he looks good here in Canada. 2 corners to go. Checkered flag coming out. Chase is your Moto 1 winner here in Deschambault. Authoritative ride through the field to get there. And nicely done in the end. Looks like Tommy's going to finally push August over the line for good. Just get a little tap and a backflip to boot as well. Nicely done, gentlemen. Waiting for everything to happen. Cam does indeed lock down the 2 spot right here. So a nice effort for him. Looks like Braden comes through. He is 20th, so should pick up a point 2 laps down. Nicely done for him. Oh, Hentai going OTB right there, coming into our screen. And then, are we going to find this battle? Here's LV coming down. And he is ahead of KFC again by the looks of it. So it is going to be LV who gets the job done. Podium result for him, 3rd in Moto 1. And TJ did pass KFC. It wasn't going to matter anyway. He got him on penalties, but he does get him for 4th. KFC 5th. And then another long wait all the way back to Steiner. These guys really opened up. It seems so much closer than this early on in this race, but times have certainly changed later in the race. And Steiner going to keep DA behind him. DA ends of 17th. Steiner in the 6th spot as that loud 350 goes bottling through the screen right there. And then we go back to Reed. Quietly strong ride for the 22 machine. And hey, shout out Chad Reed, inducted into the AMA Hall of Fame this evening. Congratulations on a Hall of Fame career for the Australian. Got a couple of the names coming through. Nate working his way through. HW went by. And Dizzle is going to pick up a top 10 here. Just able to hold off Neon. Kai coming through, but he is a lap down of Neon even in 18th place. Oh, and Neon gets Dizzle by 7/10 at the flag to knock him back to 11th. You hate to see it. Ocean and Karcher coming through. And that'll wrap it up as we wait for just a few more riders to come in. Ah, man, Dizzle just couldn't quite hold on for that top 10.
Yeah, and then something to notice, the last guy I put a lap down is Brad in P14. So not a good ride for your P2 in points. He lost a lot of points to Cam tonight. I got to do quick math to figure that out of how much he exactly lost this moto. But yeah, not something you want to see whenever you're going for a title, and especially after you bring it down massively in the last round. So hate to see that for him, but Cam, still proving that he looks to be the guy this year with that solid P2.
Yeah, that definitely is something of note. Even though Chase gets the win, of course, Cam just extended his championship lead even more and setting himself up for a really good championship run if he can back it up in Moto 2 and get himself a healthy championship lead heading into the stretch run of this championship. All right, little intermission coming at you here at round number 8 of the FXR AOMX Championship in MX Bikes. We can send you guys to a quick commercial break. We'll be back on the other side of this with more of AOMX Racing from Deschambault. is coming this fall, and if you haven't been paying attention, you're missing out. A whole new game designed from the ground up by a super team of MX Bikes modders. Motocross the game will feature realistic physics, and it will be available on consoles as well as PC. What you're watching here is some alpha gameplay from the team as they continue to make steps towards a complete game at launch. Don't wait any longer and be the first in line by pre-ordering the game now through the link in the description below, and be sure to use the code SYSMTG, that's SYSMTG, all one word, when you check out to get 2% off your pre-order. We can't wait to shred this exciting new game with you all very soon. All right, welcome back to round number 8, the FXR AOMX Championship. Hey, FXR people, their 2026 line is here. Their snow line, their moto line, it's all here for you guys to check out. And if you go to their website, you can see what's new and what is coming up for them. Their best sellers, their Malcolm Stewart apparel. They got their helmets, they got their jackets, casual wear, always good stuff at FXRRacing.com. So be sure to head over there, see what they got. They got sales, they got moto gear, all kinds of good stuff. Do you have a favorite FXR line in the moto set, though, actually, Talon?
I do. Can't think of the name of it, to be honest with you, but I run it in game. I completely forget what it is actually called, but well, to what it looks like, it's that you know what Triumph ran? It was that all like kind of neon fluorescent, like yellow looking gear.
Yeah.
With like kind of stripes. Yeah, that's kind of always my go-to. I always kind of like that looking gear, you know, kind of a fluorescent yellow, kind of bright color guy. So, you know, I think that's my favorite looking of gear, and that's the favorite kind of, you know, brand of what it is.
Yeah,
line of gear.
FXR in general has really stepped it up in the last 5 or so years. Their high-end performance lines have always been quality gear, but I mean, the aesthetics of it have been awesome as well. They got really, really cool sets, and they're starting to get bigger and bigger names in their gear as well. Obviously, Malcolm Stewart, a big signing. My guy, Max Voland, in FXR gear as well. And just fantastic work that they do over there. Cool to see them get their first win in Supercross this year with Jordan Smith. As you mentioned, Austin Faulkner on the program as well. And quality that you can count on, FXRRacing.com, and we thank them for backing the championship here, AOMX Series in 2025.
But yeah, Faulkner has always been my go-to guy. He's been my favorite rider basically since, you know, RV retired. He used to be my favorite one, then he retired, so now it swapped to Faulkner, and unfortunately, his injuries have not been doing him well in his career, but, you know, glad he's able to basically finish the full season this year, minus 1 or the 2 rounds of playoffs, so glad to see him be able to finish one this year, and hopefully he could do a lot better next year.
Absolutely. All right, Moto 2's coming up here in just a moment, and we'll see who can get the jump out of that inside gate. Now, we saw 2 starts, so we got a little bit of reconnaissance already on what it might happen this time around. Better start for Cam Moto 2 up the inside, but Brock W, I think, was gate 6 or 7 and got the whole shot. So is that where we're going to see it come from again, or can someone from the inside actually get a good jump?
Yeah, maybe someone from the inside could get one. You know, it's kind of hard to, you know, really tell, but Cam obviously got a good one from that very far inside, so we'll see if Chase tries to take it again or tries to take it away from him, but, you know, if not, I do see Cam trying to go for another far inside. Maybe, like you said, some more people going far inside, so it's really going to be hard to tell, but it looks like we finally get to see who chooses where now, unless people just, you know, didn't choose and let it choose randomly for him. But you see a lot of them on there. TJ's on the far inside, LV, Aqua's, a lot more guys looking to go inside here.
Yeah, we'll look far inside. As you mentioned, it does look like Cam got that gate again. So go
Chase far outside.
Really? Chase far outside, huh? Oh, yeah, he's way outside of the box. That is an interesting decision on his part, but here we go. Cam, KFC, Aqua's up the inside, TJ, HW, Steiner, LV, Reed, Timmy, Nate, Brad, Ocean, Saki, Tommy, DA, Dizzle, Vic, Kai, Krusty, Hentai, Karcher, Neon. Chase his way out here just beside Neon, and then Gooey way outside of that. So I wonder if that's strategic by Chase, give himself plenty of room to try to swing in and get the hole shot. But it is time. Moto2 is ready to go racing here at the FXR AOMX Championship from Deschambault. Can Chase do it again? Can Cam stop it and win Moto2, or will someone else show their name to the front? Let's find out and go racing here for Moto2. Land rush up the inside, bar banging galore. A lot of guys get together and out of the middle. It looks like Tommy got there first, but Saki ends up getting the hole shot as he launches side by side with Aquas, gets the lead as Aquas goes down. We got Vic up here, KFC, DA with a good start, but Saki is going to lead them through on lap number 1.
Yeah, Saki getting a good start here, just like he did before that restart last moto. And then Vic and KFC getting the early, jump up here. KFC looking to follow Saki around the outside as Vic kind of crosses over him from the inside line there. And then they got LV, Kai, then you got DA. Brad is up here at the good start, so let's see if he could rebound. And Cam looks to be buried here after that early, crash in that hole shot corner.
Yeah, and then crucially, it looks as though a terrible start for Cam. Like you said, TJ also buried down the order. Chase is 11th, so that's about where he has been starting. We'll see if he's able to hold it from right there, but they're all giving chase to KFC now out front, and we saw what he could do in Moto 1.
Yeah, we saw he had that late race pace. We'll see if he could put it together here early, and if he could, get himself a bigger gap. You got LV behind him, who he's battling with all motos. So these guys might be able to come out and shock the road and get a overall victory here. If Chase or Cam cannot move forward, Dizzle is up here looking to get around into P5 past Timmy as well.
Yeah, this is really tight and frantic action at the front of the field. Good starts for Vic. Dizzle, another good start like you mentioned. And just as I say that, Nate goes down in third. Timmy hits him getting up. And look at the land rush. A guy is going by him to the outside. Just no room for error on these opening laps. One crash and suddenly you're losing 8 to 9 positions. Got to keep it on two wheels in the early runnings.
Yeah, and unfortunately Chase was one of them that went down, and Brad also went down right behind him. So now you got Chase, Cam, and Brad all right next to each other here, and that looks to be about maybe falling down to about 15th place between these guys. So now these three all have to work together to move forward.
Yeah, this is a crazy mix, and that means that TJ is also in this one as well. He's only a few spots back of them coming out of the corner. So this is some of our fastest riders all year long, absolutely buried down the order. Going to be fun to see how they make progress through the field. Getting whips thrown in their face. Neon's down. More riders sideways in the track, and Cam actually hits Saki, who's our early leader. Saki is going way backwards right now. Cam gets into him. That allows TJ by. Chase now right in front of TJ as Vic gets put down by Timmy. TJ goes by him. Or Tommy, I don't know, one of them. Chase is up here as well. My goodness. There is chaos galore in the midfield as KFC leads lap number 1 over LV. Dizzle looks like he's moved into the 3 spot. He has around HW, and the 14 machine is flying the flag here in Deschambault.
He's getting it done. We'll see. Hopefully he could stay up there and doesn't have what happened to him in that last moto where he kind of lost a little bit of pace, went down a couple times. So he should be able to hold it together. He's got a bit of a gap over HW, and then he's got even more of a gap all the way to these front runners. But it looks like Steiner has made his way forward, and then Chase and Brad aren't too far behind him.
Yeah, this is a good position for Dizzle to be in, but let's see what happens from there. DA, Neon, and oh my gosh, this battle's insane. Brad gets up the inside of Steiner. Nate goes by. Chase is there. Reed to the outside. This is basically the entire top 10 somehow just bunched together. You can throw a blanket over them, and they're not even really that far up into the field just yet. They're about 9th to 15th, all of them mixed together right here behind Neon. And this is insane. Look at Steiner to the inside trying to get around Reed. Brad to the outside. Chase crosses over in front of Nate. These guys are all over the track. I cannot believe there's not more crashing going on with how close they're racing each other.
Chase trying to make something happen. Brad down the inside gets a 2 for 1 there, and then Reed is able to get back by him with the slingshot around the outside. Chase looking down the inside of Steiner, kind of gets held up by Reed, and Steiner goes back by him. All a bunch of racing going on back here. There's even more racing up ahead as HW goes down in front of him, and now he's going to get back into this battle with the rest of them.
Yeah, there's 5, 6 bikes on your screen going into the same corner right there. It's that close still. And remember, Cam just at the back end of this group, TJ not too far behind that, so we'll keep an eye on their progress. But this is actually starting to work out in Chase's favor a little bit. I mean, obviously he's not in a great position with this battle, but some of his closest competitors are still behind this. So it's crazy to see how this has worked out. And as I say that, chaos reigns supreme. Chase goes down again, gets together with DA, and a lot of guys go by, including Cam, who was playing caboose on this train. Finally, Steiner's going to get around Neon to the outside by the looks of it here. No, Neon shuts the door, gets back into position. Steiner on the outside does get the pass done, though. HW, Reed, Brad, Cam, Nate, all coming through underneath the tunnel right there. And then Chase is behind them. This is absolutely insane. 8 or 9 riders still nose to tail here in the midfield.
Yeah, everyone fighting, and Steiner on that 350s leading them all as everyone trying to get around him. See him kind of hitting that inside right there as HW gets in the back and Neon goes down. Could be due to that lag, and it looks like Chase and Cam are down together right behind him at the end of this pack. So now Cam is back ahead of Chase, and now these two have to move forward once again to catch up to this group of 5 here battling for third.
Incredible to see what happens when these guys don't get the starts that they're accustomed to. They're not at the sharp end of the field, and the battles are starting to wreak havoc on them. So we'll see how quickly they can get sorted and start making those passes throughout the field. How about KFC, though, up front? We haven't talked about him pretty much this entire race since he took over the race lead. We saw the first moto, the penalties really did him in, ends up 5th, even though he crossed the line in 4th place. TJ did get him on those penalties. But man, finally some clean air to work with. A big old lead starting to open up, over 9 seconds on LV. And this is looking pretty good for KFC out front.
Yeah, KFC looking to, take his first overall victory of the year. And, he's got, like you said, he got a big gap, 10-second gap, trying to copy what Cam did last moto and try to hold on to it. Dizzle's still holding on tough in P3 here. But he's got a big group of riders, starting with Steiner trying to move forward and HW looking down the inside. Can't make anything happen. They're side by side. Steiner kind of crosses over on him, and then HW just takes the inside line from him as Neon goes down behind him.
Man, that battle's
into
finally,
the oncoming lane.
As I say, man, that battle's finally started to actually make some serious positions, because Steiner's up into 4th on penalties. Chase is 6th on track ahead of Brad, but has some cuts in hand. Reed, Cam, Nate, all going through right here. Impressive rides that these guys haven't really faltered too much. I mean, they're only about 24 seconds off the lead, and they've been frantically battling almost the whole race and had a few crashes even to boot. So while all that's going on, they're not even losing that much time. It just shows how fast and aggressive the pace is in these races, especially if you get a good start. You're desperate to try to stay up here. And speaking of desperation, Brad, after a horrible first moto, is just desperate to try to get any sort of semblance of points back to stay in this championship fight, especially with Cam behind him.
Yeah, sorry, I'm dealing with cheater things, sorry.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah.
No worries, I got this. All right, so Brad and Chase going at it. Reed trying to get to the outside on Chase. Can't quite make it happen just yet. Cam down the inside might get Reed after the finish line jump. Beautiful move by the Moto Academy Yamaha rider, but Reed to the outside. Looks like he's just going to get there first and hold it. Chase tried an inside move on Brad. That doesn't work. He shuts the door. Now Reed's trying to go far inside here on this hill. Does he get Chase at the top? No, and he might lose a position to Cam. No, strike that. He gets a good drive out of the inside rut and gets to the outside of Chase to actually make that pass stick. Then low lines this, tries to hit the outside rut, gets blocked by Brad. Chase gets back by him. Then Brad absolutely finds a trampoline mid straightaway and goes yard sailing. Oh, we got a huge rivet in the racetrack. We got a canyon here as guys land in the middle of it. Reed was the one that absolutely bit it. There's a rut all the way around the midsection of this racetrack now. Oh no, this is a disaster, and some of these guys are going to get buried in it. Cam goes down to the bottom. What's about to happen here?
Yeah, it's going to be some tight battling between the two of them, so we'll see what Cam can do. But yeah, he might be wanting to get around him quickly and try to, charge as far forward as he can to hopefully catch up to KFC leading and, make it interesting towards the end of this race with 21 minutes left to go.
Well, what are we going to do about this? Because there's 4 straightaways on the track now that are just absolutely raunched with big old chasm ruts. As Dizzle was up there, and now he might have to pull over and make a decision here. I'm not sure what they would do. I know he wants to get this race in, but this sucks. This is a massive canyon in the track now.
Yeah, it all stemmed from the guy cheating. I think I got him kicked, so we hopefully don't have any more happen, but I will, obviously leave it up to Dizzle to see what he wants to do with this. If we do have to reset the track, it is what it is, but...
And there we go.
It looks like that is what is going to happen. hate to see it happen, but with cheaters being cheaters, it sucks.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do now. It looks like Rufio in chat saying restart with a 20-minute race. Can we get a staggered restart up in here?
I
Be
mean,
nice,
we
right?
can, but it would take just forever.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, man, that's a bummer, though. And again, just one guy ruins it for the rest of us. But we will get official word here soon what happens.
Yeah, because it looked like Cam actually got stuck in one of them, which is a big reason why.
Yeah.
So. But
yeah.
just.
All right, so holding pattern here at Deschambault as we await further clarification on what's going to happen from here. If we're going to shorten the race, if we're doing a full restart, or what's going to happen. But right now we are in that holding pattern waiting for an update from Dizzle, who did have a good race going and then had to unfortunately pull out. So, here he is now. So Dizzle with what's going on down there?
Yeah, this is getting ridiculous, man. The dude started doing it again, literally, I don't know, 8 minutes into that moto. And I'm pretty sure it was that Tommy dude, because the guys on our call were right behind Tommy and were watching it happen.
Got it. Okay.
So I came in here to ask talent. I mean, we can either take the result how it was before that, or we can reset the server and run a 20-minute moto. Or, I don't know. What do you think?
We still had 20 minutes left, so I still say we run the rest of it. At least so we get a good result, because everything was already messed up with Cam getting stuck. So even if we tried to take it as much as possible, it would have completely changed everything. So
all right. So let me reset the server real quick, because it's ridiculous, man. Sucks that it's happened on such a great track. But
I know, dude. You were up there too.
I was, man. I was having a great moto, but shit happens. There was a couple people that were like straight up completely stuck in the hole that couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And one of them was Cam. So like, I'm not gonna have him lose an entire moto just because somebody's ruining the server for people, Fuck, I forgot to change it to 20 minutes.
It's okay. We got time. It's gonna be fine.
I don't know. You want to just say fuck it and run 30?
I would leave it up to them, but I would, say 20 might be a little bit better.
I'd say 20 just because we had 20 left. Like, why not?
All right. Yeah, fair enough. Let me just do it real quick. It's just turning into a shit show. I hate when shit goes on bad like this.
All good though. We're here. We're having fun. Calling good racing.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys sticking it out.
No problem. Stuff happens.
I didn't realize this whole MX Bikes cheating thing was going to be like such a big deal so fast.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. You got to develop an anti-cheat if you're Pabosa. Like, that's the only way you're going to save your game at this point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, nothing else more to be said, really. It's got to be done. This is getting ridiculous.
But, we're year 11 of this game, and the netcode is still what it is. So I'll catch you guys in 2036 when Pibs has an anti-cheat.
Now these guys are saying just do 30. I'm not resetting the server again, buddy. We got to run it.
All right. Well, we'll see how much it helps, but I sent his GUID to Karen. But with that thing, they could obviously, just generate a new one, which kind of sucks, but we'll see. I know Nico can do a thing with IP bans, so we'll see if that's what happens. If not, hopefully that's the last we see of him.
All right. Well, either way, we will go racing again and see what will happen on our 20-minute restart of the gate. I wonder if it ever work if we could do like, obviously not try it right now, but how they do the real life thing where John Starling runs across the starting gate, but you could like, I don't know, somehow line them up in order of where they were on the track from gate 1 over and say you can't leave until the guy to your left goes or something like that.
Yeah, I would love it, but unfortunately with bikes, everyone is children or act like children, most of them do. So unfortunately, I don't think that would. Obviously, I think top guys could probably obey it. But we have obviously with it being a series, there's going to be people that don't have their thing up. So unfortunately, it's difficult. I wish he was in the game, but yeah, I hate to see it, especially when we had a good race going as well. So
it's all good. We might have a better one. This could have just set us up for an even better race. You never know. Take a look at some of the kits in the pits. We got Dizzles, MX Locker Fantic. Look at that thing. Clean as she gets.
Thank you. That is courtesy of Gooey.
Got Neon's number 11 YZ. Looking sharp. Sent me his pack before the race. Oh, wait, this is Eli Tomac's bike. That's not supposed to be there. What else we got? The 890 KTM. Who is that?
890.
I want to say
Krusty.
It's probably Krusty. Yeah, because
Krusty's.
he ran that in. That's his number for Ariel. And I just think somebody already took it for our thing. So
Got it. Yeah, that's looking sharp right there. Trying to see if we got any other kits that I missed out. Well, we got TJ's number 1 gear. I don't have his bike, but the gear looks solid. Pack EMH SPX Performance. Looking nice. Some of these guys messing around here in the pits. Having some fun. I'm surprised I don't have Chase's kit. Normally I have Chase's stuff, but I guess the new ChaseBlackSuspension.com stuff hasn't arrived yet. It's all right.
Oh yeah. Everybody updating their off-season kits.
All right, I think that's the race call. So
yeah, we're going.
All right, here we
sorry,
go.
I was zoned out, but yeah, here we go. We're running it. No redos, no take backsies, no nothing. We're going.
And it looks like it's going to be 30s because they didn't swap over. So
it is 30s.
So we are doing it didn't swap over whenever we started, so it is going to be a 30-minute moto for these guys.
All right, so full 30 again. Here we go. Cam down the inside. KFC, Aquas, TJ, HW, Steiner, LV, Reed, Brad, Nate, Ocean, Saki, Gooey, DA, Braden, Krusty, August, Karcher, Kai, Hentai, Neon, Chase. 3 outside the doghouse. Vic and Dizzle way outside this time. So we'll see where the start is going to come from. Of course, last time we saw Saki get out of that one quite well. Okay, I'm going to try to get a better start from the inside this time and not get hung up in any of the first turn chaos. I think we're in the clear this time, and we are ready to go racing again. Time for the real Moto2 from Deschambault. Let's drop the gate here at round 8. Much better start for TJ up the inside. Gets to the corner first. Tries to block off Saki, who launches all the way to that last roller. He's going to try to get to the inside and take over the race lead. TJ, no, it's Reed around the outside of everybody that sneaks through. Leads lap number 1 over Neon. Cam's up here. Steiner with a good start as well. And TJ drops all the way back to 7th after some contact with Saki. Where did Reed come from? What a beautiful move into the race lead.
Yeah, I have no clue where he came from. I saw him just get shot out of a rocket after that first table. He was just absolutely moving past these guys and sent it into that corner. Got the triple into that corner, but Cam getting a good start here. He's into 3rd. Steiner right behind him in 4th, and it looks like Chase is unfortunately buried once again for another start.
Yeah, bad break for Chase. He is so far down the order. We got Reed up here leading this thing. Steiner, Cam, Neon, TJ, Saki, LV, HW, Gooey. So other than, I would say, Chase, pretty much all the heavy hitters got way better starts this time, which is super unfortunate for our Moto1 winner.
Yeah, you hate to see it for him, and with the restart, all the guys that were up here early, unfortunately, are not up here again. So, like I said, it sucks for them, but it had to be done. And now we got Neon charging forward, TJ getting by Steiner, and now Saki trying to get by him as well. But all these guys, looking to set their sights forward as LV is trying to split the gap between Steiner and Saki. Cannot get it done as Steiner kind of chases him off the edge. Unfortunately, he goes over the berm, and LV is going to get by him, but unfortunately loses that position to Saki.
All right, I need to go help my daughter with something, so I'm going to do a quick overhead shot, and I'll be right back in like 1 minute. So go ahead and call the race.
Alrighty. Well, I am going to try to, keep it under control. It's Reed leading here ahead of TJ. Don't know how well you guys can see it with that overhead shot, but TJ in P2, Neon 3. Then we got Saki, LV, HW, and Steiner battling a four-way battle for P4 here. As Saki leading it, HW looking down the inside, and they're going 3 wide, almost tri-leads as Saki goes down, scrubbing too much as they're about to come back onto the start straight here. HW leading that small little group of LV and Steiner. HW down the inside, LV kind of following him through that middle right here. They come back onto the start straight. HW going the far right side, keeping the low line. All these guys are now, so they're kind of copying what KSC did. HW went down out of that P4 spot, and now it looks like LV is going to hold on, but Steiner keeping the pressure on him. He's looking to go around the outside here. Doesn't look like he's able to make it happen, so LV gets a little bit of breathing room out front, and it is still Reed. TJ trying to give chase as they drop down in this little valley after the finish line. Come back up the hill into a little woods sections area here. Down he goes, but he's keeping it very close. They're not sending the triple to that inside where Cam crashed last moto. And then Neon is still sitting pretty in P3. Then we got LV looking to make something happen here as he looks to rail around the outside. Can't make anything happen. He might get a drive down the straightaway. He does along the right-hand side, scrubs it. Neon keeps it straight, clips in midair, does not go down, so he's going to stay close. Steiner almost jumping over him. Does not look like he can. Middle rut for Steiner. He's going to go around the outside of Neon here, looking down the inside. Don't know if he can make anything happen. He does. He cuts across the track. He's going to get firmly into that P4 spot. Neon trying to make something happen on the outside. Cannot. And here comes Cam now sitting in that P6 spot trying to move forward. Chase is already up to P9 after being outside the top 22 off that start. So he is moving forward here. Not too far behind Cam. And Neon now trying to get around Steiner. Steiner able to cover off the inside on him, but Neon trying to hold it together. Cam looking down the inside, kind of scrubbing to the inside. Neon blocks the door on him. Cam is able to hold on safely here and try to look down the inside. Neon trying to play some good defense. He's able to stay on all these insides, not let him by. With that reset of the server, this track is fresh, so these guys get to go fast. Cam looking down the inside to get a twofer here. Looks to try to get around Neon, and he can go down the inside. Can he get Steiner, who's only on that 350 with that power disadvantage? They scrub into each other. Down they go, cross-jumping down the hill. They go flying. That's going to cost them a bunch of time. Don't know if Chase is going to be able to close in. Is Nate closing in? And then we see Brad for the first time here, and then Chase just a little bit back with KFC and HW now. So it is still Reed leading, but now he has pressure from TJ here. Only a second apart based off of cuts. Back on the start straight they go, taking this first little, tabletop, keep on the low line. Reed going for the triple into the corner around the outside. TJ going inside. It's about even there between the two of them, but TJ made a small mistake, so it might be a little quicker to go inside here. And now it is 8/10, so they both have the same amount of cuts if they have any. Reed going outside, TJ going inside, dropping down in the little valley. TJ getting a bigger drive down this hill, coming back up the hill, looking down the inside. They're side by side. Middle rut for TJ, takes the line away, checks up a little bit, playing a little mind games, gets the pass done, goes around the outside here. Reed cannot make anything happen. He has to back out of the challenge, coming up to the top of the hill in that little woods area, down the long straightaway here. But Reed trying to get a good drive down the right-hand side. Does he land it good? He does. They're side by side. TJ pushes him off the track and gets a weird bounce. So Reed looking down the inside, able to make the pass once again, side by side. TJ looking down the inside here one more time, hitting the downside of the jump perfectly side by side, but Reed is going to be able to hold on strong, get a good drive, forcing TJ to the bad line, and he's going to retain the lead for a little bit longer with TJ trying to make the fight back one more time. Looking down the inside, checks up, lets him have it, so Reed still going to be able to hold on here as we have a tight battle for the lead. And then it looks like LV is slowly closing in behind him, but TJ trying to make anything happen down the inside here over the small little tabletop, going outside compared to Reed's inside, cannot make anything happen, tries to get a slingshot, cannot. And Reed gonna cover the inside perfectly on defensively, and Reed looking down the inside one more time, cannot hold on. TJ's gonna get around him for the lead, and we have a new lead for the first time this moto. Took 8 minutes, but TJ is gonna get it done, and now Reed has to set his sights back on him, or does he just settle and try to hold pace ahead of LV, who's closing in slowly? So TJ is your new race leader, trying to make anything happen here tonight. Gain as much points as he can.
I am back, by the way, but you've just been doing a fantastic job calling this. So I was just following along with the action that you were calling there for about a minute. But great job. Thanks so much. We are calling this race, though. This is good stuff, man. That was a great battle TJ and Reed had back and forth. Finally, TJ able to lock it down, but it doesn't seem like Reed's done. And as you mentioned, LV right there with them as well. So 3 riders at the front.
Yeah, LV was slowly closing in here, and you see Reed jump into that trip all the way to the outside. I don't know how much quicker it is, but TJ, small mistake inside for Reed, kind of pushes him out of that rut and forcibly takes his way in the lead, and LV's going to get by as well.
Yeah, this is insane action. And look at Reed now dealing with LV up the inside, trying to make the pass to the lead. LV got there side by side, has the lead temporarily, but does Reed have the drive down the inside of this straightaway? TJ tries to split them in the middle at the top of the hill, but LV gets the job done. He's into the lead. TJ getting sideways, going to lose that spot back to Reed, who goes up the inside. And TJ gets a great drive around the outside. He's going to try to get both of them to this outside rut. Does he get the job done? No. LV locks the door down. Now TJ launches down the back straightaway into the race lead. He goes back and forth. He goes from third to first and back all the way into the race lead. TJ out front again.
Yeah, really using that outside to slingshot is where I see a lot of these guys making the passes now. Reed trying to cover the inside. LV trying to use a little bit of force, not getting it done. And now Reed forcing him to either back off or go to the slower line. So Reed has to set his sights back on TJ, but also play defense, which is not the preferred spot that I know he wants to be in. So now he's got to work. Oh, and LV kind of forces him off the track. Don't know if that was a little bit of lag or not, but Reed kind of got the bad end of it. And unfortunately, it's going to push him down into P3. With Cam up to P5, and it looks like Chase is already up to P6 now after being all the way buried in almost dead last there.
Yeah, LV gave Reed the old shove off the track and said, get out of here. This is my position as he moves up to second. Like you said, though, Cam making a nice charge, bringing Chase kind of with him, even though it's a 9-second gap between him. But Cam finally made it to Neon and is by, so he is up into the 4 spot. Now the overall situation starting to go back in the way of Cam, at least as of right now, with that 2-4 starting to feel a little bit more comfortable about it, especially with TJ finishing 4th in the first moto. He can make a couple more passes and feel better. There's TJ, our leader. There is LV in 2nd, Reed in 3rd, Cam in the background in 4th, dealing with the heat from Neon as they come down into the valley. Then Brad, who just got hung up to the outside right there, and Chase down the inside moves into the 7th position. So all the familiar faces have once again found their way to the front of the field, and the battles are certainly revving up between all of them.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to heat up. We still got 20 minutes left in this moto here as Cam is still fighting Neon up ahead of him. So, but he's able to, defend the inside here. Neon not able to make anything happen in this kind of tight section, as now we start to get in the more open part of the track with these long straightaways and long sweeping corners. So we'll see if Cam can hold on as he goes outside. And it looks like Neon's going to follow him all the way through this section here as they jump down into this hill.
Yeah, everyone trying to get to this outside of the top now, especially with a fresh racetrack. Oh, Cam gets it wrong, though. Clipped the top on the exit of that and goes over the bar. Is going to lose a lot of time right there. That was a lengthy crash. Not enough for either Brad or Chase to get up there. KFC also back here as well, but that is not ideal for Cam because he goes from right in the middle of that fight to losing quite a bit of time to the group that he was just battling with. So now he's got to try to regroup. Meanwhile, obviously Neon gets away scot-free again in the 4 spot. Still trying to run down LV, TJ, Reed all up here. I feel like that TJ really hasn't gotten away as far as I would have expected him to out front. LV's riding a terrific race in the 2 spot right here. And the NGS DRS Yamaha machine doesn't want to let the defending champion go. He's hanging tough with him. And when they start getting into lap traffic, that could pay dividends, especially if he figures out some better lines.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw, in the first moto, TJ didn't look too comfortable on this track. He, was up here kind of early, fell down to about a P5, P6 spot, and then had to work his way slowly back up into P4. So, that could be a reason why he's not able to pull a bit of a gap. But now it's looking to open up a little bit more with maybe some mistakes from LV as he's now having to worry about Reed closing in behind him. And then, like you said, Neon up in P4, Cam in P5, and then we got a bit of a battle between, it looks like, Brad, Chase, and KSC here for that P6 spot.
Yeah, they're coming down into the gully before the big double right now on your screen. There they are. And KFC, I guess the biggest loser of all of this restart. He had a comfortable lead right there when we had to restart this race, unfortunately, with the chasm in the racetrack. So he's probably riding a little bit inspired right now, trying to make amends from a bad start on this restart, going with Chase, trying to get up there and mix it up. Brad obviously riding much better as well. So everyone's got something that they're fighting for. If you're Chase, maximize the points. Try to get as close back into this thing as you possibly can. Try to win this overall at the end of the day as well. KFC fighting back from maybe almost winning the second moto moments ago. Whoa, the 3 wide on that corner exit, though, as Brad makes a mistake, and KFC and Chase both go by him. Now KFC is going to try to go to the outside as Chase defends the inside. Let's see if that drive down that straightaway is going to work. Oh, KFC lands hard in the bumps. Not able to make it happen just yet. That was cool. Those guys are almost 3 wide over the finish line jump.
Yeah, a lot of close battling we've seen so far in this first half of the moto, but Brad, was leading this group. Now he's at the back end of it, and KFC trying to charge forward with Chase as Chase is starting to, spread away from him and try to catch up to Cam, who's battling with Neon once again up ahead of him. And then now it actually looks like Reed might have got by LV on track. Nope, never mind. That was just a lapper. So now he's still in that P3 spot, and everything looks to be about the same up ahead of him. But Chase trying to break away from the small little group and charge forward all on his own.
So I am not a betting man, and I don't know if you are or not, but if you had to guess, what are we going to see from here? Is Chase going to run all these guys down again, like we saw in the first moto, or is Cam going to go up there and lock this thing down? What about TJ looking at a 4-1 right now? Could he win this overall? Where is this about to go?
Yeah, it's going to get crazy in this last 15 minutes. Obviously, Reed and Neon are kind of playing spoilers for the overall with all these guys, but Chase has to get up to third. If TJ, doesn't lose any positions to win the overall, Cam has to, get up to, I think, third, maybe second now to not lose the overall. So it's going to be difficult for these guys to charge as, forward as they can. But we saw with Chase last moto, he was 17 seconds back from Cam, who arguably looked the fastest with qualifying, and was able to run him down and then pull it out to about a 10, 20-second gap by the end of it as well. So I think Chase can get it done, but we'll ultimately have to wait and see. Like I said, with the track being reset, it's a lot smoother, and he doesn't have the advantage of finding those lines that he did last moto and being able to use them all moto.
A lot of different ways this could go, but I'll tell you, one guy who's probably a bit happy about how much time is still on the clock is Chase, because if you think about it, if this was only a 20-minute plus 1 lap or 2 lap race, if we had reset it and done that instead, we're looking at only about 5 minutes left for him to try to make all these passes and get up there. He still has so much time to play with on the clock to get up there, try to battle with these guys, try to win this race still, and I'm sure he's pretty stoked about that opportunity still. We'll see if he's able to make anything happen. We'll go back to our leaders, though. TJ and LV still going at it. It seems like every time LV gets a little closer, TJ finds a way to open that gap back up. But now a big mistake out of TJ. LV is going to try to get to the inside for the race lead, but not quite close enough. There it is, actually. TJ makes a mistake in the rut. LV shoots down the inside, and he's got the lead over the defending champion.
Oh, he makes a small mistake, and TJ almost lands on him, but if LV remakes that pass, that's going to be enough to give him the overall victory as well with that third in that first moto. So he's looking to take his first moto win of the series and his first overall win, but TJ holding on strong after that small mistake, and now he's looking to pull away a little bit. So it looks like LV made some mistakes as soon as he got right into that lead.
Yeah, LV just about almost went down 2 or 3 different times right there. Nice job to corral it together, but TJ's figured it out again, and on the charge he goes. Reed still in the 3 spot. There is Cam starting to wind it up in 4th. Can almost see Reed up the road in 2nd. Then a gap back to Chase, who has now made his way around KFC and everyone else to get into the top 5. Looks like Neon has dropped outside the top 5 back to 6th on corrected time. But Chase is continuing his march forward. If he gets to 4th, he'll tie TJ on the end of the day. But that LV situation, could he get up there and win this race? That might be the difference maker of who's going to win the overall here, because Chase has to go through all the fast guys to get up here and try to win this thing, and it's anybody's race right now.
Yeah, and with LV, if he makes that pass, it's going to make it even harder for Chase to catch back up and get that overall victory. make him have to get all the way up to P2, so that's even more guys he'd have to pass. But he's slowly but surely looks to be, chasing down Cam. It was 9 seconds at one point. Now it looks like it's only maybe about 8 seconds, 6 seconds now. So he's slowly but surely closing in. It looks like we actually might have missed LV getting by Tyler J for the lead up front. Maybe on cuts, it looks like.
Yeah, maybe on cuts, because TJ must only have like 1 extra second of cuts over him, because it's close. TJ still has it on the racetrack as of right now, but LV is getting closer, pushing the envelope. Some of these ruts are starting to catch these guys out. Again, lap traffic will come into play soon as well. They're almost to the tail end of kind of the main group. Krusty and Braden will be the first ones that they come upon. But right now, it is anybody's race at the front of the field between those two. Then you go a little bit further back, and now the battle for third is on. Here's Cam on Reed down the inside to make the pass into third place. And suddenly, Cam looks fired up to go try to win this overall as he's moved into a podium position.
Yeah, he's looking to try and make anything happen here, trying to catch up to LV up in front, who actually, it looks like he might have made a mistake because he's lost touch to Tyler J. Snapped at 4 seconds, so he very well, might be able to get into that P2 spot with 12 minutes left to go in 2 laps, as LV is just right in front of him after a crash.
Yeah, this is turning into a really interesting race, not only from an overall perspective, but just who's going to actually win the moto, because TJ has not gotten away as much as he probably would like, especially with the little mistakes that have allowed LV back into the fray. Reed just made a huge mistake and allowed KFC back into the picture as he is back around Chase. Everybody's still within pretty much eye shot of each other. I mean, Chase can kind of see the next 2 or 3 guys ahead of him. Obviously, Cam is starting to reel in LV, so he can see the 2 leaders, especially TJ going the other way on this double right now. So this could go so many different ways, and it seems like Cam might be the best at the moment, but we thought that early in the first moto as well, and it eventually started to bite him late. So maybe a setup change, an adjustment between motos has been the difference. But either way, we've got 11 minutes to figure out who's going to win it, and at this point, I still feel like it's as up in the air as it can be.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be close. Cam right now is going to go 2-3 for third overall, with LV going 3-2 and Tyler J going 4-1. So if Cam wants to get that overall victory and make it, a bounce back weekend from last round, he'll have to go up and catch LV right in front of him. But I think Cam might have a little bit of cuts on him because it's showing he's 4 seconds back, which it only looks like maybe at most 2 between the 2 of them. Looks more closer to about 1.5, but yeah, it looks like he has about maybe 2 to 3 seconds of cuts over LV in front of him.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on the penalty situation and how much that is going to affect the race status. As down goes Cam, got sideways in a rut at the top of the hill, only loses a couple of seconds and not a position, crucially, as Reed comes through now. And then Chase got back around KFC. Apparently we need to pay attention to the Chase KFC battle because they've swapped positions every time I go back here. One is in front of the other from the last time we saw it, and now Chase back ahead of him. It looks like maybe not even on corrected time yet, so Chase actually has a few more penalties to deal with this time through. But he's back ahead of him and reeling in Reed for 4th. And this is about the stage of the race last time where Chase really started to figure it out and run down Cam for the lead, eventually win this thing. Does he have another magical moment in the tank to get up there and battle with these guys, not only for that overall win that he wants to get, but even win this moto still?
Yeah, it looks like from the finish line to the end of this sector, he gained about a second on Tyler J. So he's on the move again and looks to be making quick work of Reed. So he has to follow him down the inside here. But yeah, there go Reed. Small mistake outside for Chase, able to get by him. Scrubs right back by him. And yeah, it looks like he's beginning to start to get on the move here as Reed is looking to apply that pressure right on him quickly and try to force a mistake as soon as they can to get back by Chase.
Yeah, Reed had almost no response right there for what Chase was able to do to the outside, but then gets right back on his horse, just trying to figure out inside, outside options. Could anything work as Krusty puts the hand up, moves away, out of the way of these guys, lets the battle continue. Very nicely done by the 369 machine. Chase, though, up ahead of Reed, and again, looks like corrected time still has him behind Reed and KFC, but he's ahead of them on the track and only about 6 seconds now behind Cam, who is just up the road going through the switchbacks before the finish line jump. He himself is trying to run down a lot of other guys up ahead of him. Braden a lap down, but then LV in the 2 spot, not too far behind TJ. We saw TJ in the first moto struggle a little bit, but I'm actually impressed that he hasn't gotten his way away as far as I thought he would, especially the mistakes we've seen out of LV really starting to shine through. TJ's only opened this up about 3 seconds.
Yeah, I definitely thought we'd see more from him, but I mean, the few times we've seen him lead, I don't think we've seen him really pull out a big gap over everyone else, and maybe it's just he's more comfortable with somebody close near him to kind of apply the pressure and keep him on his toes the whole time. Some guys are like that. They prefer to have somebody close to apply the pressure to him instead of riding out front all alone and kind of lose track of your pace. But yeah, it's kind of a little weird to not see him pull a big of a gap as, you know, we probably thought he would with how quickly he got around LV. And if he's not careful, if Cam gets up to LV and gets by him, there could be a chance that Cam could charge all the way forward and catch up to TJ for that win.
Yeah, Cam is on his horse right now. I'll tell you what, he has reeled in LV rather quickly. It feels as though that time is dissipated in the matter of half a lap from where it was, because suddenly he can pretty much almost see the rear tire of LV up ahead of him. LV still has keen eyes on TJ up the road trying to close that gap down, but he's going to have his hands full shortly here because Cam is absolutely on the move. Look at him go.
Yeah, Cam is on the move. He is absolutely flying on this racetrack. His last lap, it looks to be a 2:16.8 compared to LV's 2:15, so it wasn't quicker. We'll see what he runs this time because he looks to be absolutely flying right now. And, you know, like I said, if TJ isn't careful, Cam can very quickly catch up and pass him. And also, if Cam isn't careful, it looks like Chase is on the move still right behind him. So it doesn't seem like that big of a gap between them. And, you know, one big crash on one of these hills getting stuck can make a big break for these guys and change up everything.
Yeah, and obviously if you're Cam, championship still probably weighing on your mind a little bit here. TJ kind of factors in, but no wash here tonight. Brad's still behind you, so these are still good positions to be in if you're Cam. It's not the worst thing ever to take a second or a third here and stack those points, because you could lose a lot more if you get a little overzealous and crash 2 or 3 times. You'd fall back outside the top 6 even. So strategy comes into play here a little bit, but I almost don't know if that matters. It looks like he's sending as if this race win is for the championship. He is laying it on the line, and good for him. He wants to go win this race here in Deschambault.
Yeah, last lap, TJ ran a 2:14.3. LV ran a 2:14.6, and Cam ran a 2:13.5, and Chase also ran a 2:13.5. So these two in third and fourth are on the move here, trying to catch up to these guys in 1 and 2. And I don't see much that can stop them with 6 minutes to go, except for the timer. So we'll see how long it takes Cam to move forward. But if he continues running this pace, it's only a matter of time before he either crashes himself or he catches up to TJ.
Yeah, and TJ 2 seconds up on LV, but that's corrected time. It looks like TJ maybe has 2 or 3 more seconds than of penalties, I should say, than LV. So that could, another thing that comes into play a little bit right here. The lack of penalties could wreak, some benefits for some of these guys and get them up into a position where they could even win this race without having to pass TJ. So we'll keep an eye on that. Chase looks like he's fully locked down that position over KFC, and it's now just a matter of trying to establish a gap and hold on to that spot so he doesn't lose any more time based on his penalties either. So what's going to happen first? Well, it looks like the first thing that will happen is Cam will go down, lays it down in the corner before this big double gap right here, and still goes for it from almost no stop in the landing transition, but nice job right there to get it done. Little mistake right there. Is that the end of his charge, or is he still got another one riled up in him? Oh, it goes down again, and now here's Chase right into the picture. Here we go.
Yeah, we saw this last moto. Once one crash happened for Cam, it just seemed to unravel it all for him and take multiple of them with cuts. TJ has 4, Chase has 4, LV has 2, and Cam has 3. It might be more after those crashes, but Chase looking down the inside here, and Cam looking to defend it really good here. They're all going to this inside. You see how rough it is or how, dark the dirt is. And now Chase, we'll see if he makes quick work of him here. It looks like they are, 13 seconds back, and Chase is 14. So Chase might be having to make quick work if he wants to charge as far forward as he can with only 4 minutes remaining.
Well, crucially, if Chase can pass Cam, that would lock down the overall for him, if I'm not mistaken, because TJ's on that 4-1. Chase looking at a 1-4, but it might be a 1-3 soon. Down the inside of Cam to the back straightaway, and he's got him. Look at that pass by Chase. Now, does Cam have a response? We'll have to wait and see, I believe, but Chase up into a position where he could win this overall just like that.
Yeah, Chase is still on the move. He's still putting down those 213s, and you saw him go down the inside, really confident of making a pass, and now Cam goes down the inside here to, retain that P3 spot. But like you said, Chase is going for the overall victory here today. Try to claw back those points that he's been missing, those couple rounds that he had to miss. And, it looks like they might be on the same time of cuts. Chase might be maybe a second more. We'll have to double check that here soon. But yeah, Cam playing some good defense and really trying to hold him off, as right now it's looking like Chase might be the biggest guy to try to close in the points, unless TJ can, give something in his last couple rounds.
Fantastic action all around the track, and it's still not over. It feels like this race is building to a crescendo at the end of it, where we're going to see a really interesting fight for the overall victory. TJ trying to at least lay claim and win this race no matter what, but anything else could still go down behind him. LV about 8 seconds back now as TJ goes through the tunnel the other way. LV's not in totally clear area just of Cam and Chase in their fight that's going on, which now Chase down the inside. Looks like he's got Cam again, and this time will lock down third, gets to the same rut, and Cam has no response, at least yet. We'll see though.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. He looks to be thinking about that inside, but knew it wasn't quicker, so he followed in pursuit. They do both have 4 seconds of cuts, so it is whoever beats who on track, no matter the cut situation. TJ still has those 4 seconds, and LV only has 2. So if Chase wants to gain even more points on Cam, in order to pass LV, he has to beat him by 2 seconds. But right now he's worried about defending of Cam, and he's starting to get a little bit of a gap here as the race is starting to go on.
What a move by Chase. And Cam is back to pushing him just like that. They're only about 11 seconds behind TJ. Less than 2 minutes and 2 laps to go in this race. It's going to be pretty close like we saw in the first moto. I think once again, though, the race leader TJ should check in before time expires to give us that extra lap. We'll have to see just how close it is as he goes down the hill, though, right there. Then LV will be coming up and in and out of your screen. And then Chase and Cam. Impressive ride by Chase to get back to this position again now in a spot to win the overall. And if you're Cam, you just got to be like, man, I thought I had these guys covered. And suddenly someone else, just like Chase again in the first moto, comes flying from behind, able to get that pass done. Looks like he's not done yet either.
Yeah, definitely not. He's trying to hold on to him, but yeah, Chase is starting to pull away, and you see these guys are closing in the gap. It's only 10 seconds now between them and TJ, but there is a minute left, so it might be too little too late for them to go for a moto victory here. But, I mean, Chase might have a good chance at LV. Double check his system in front of him. It is the next rider ahead of him, but with all the cuts, it's going to be very close on if he could pass him, but he does look to be going quicker as LV is down up ahead, so Chase very well can go for a P2 finish here if he pulls 2 seconds ahead of or over LV.
Yeah, LV just seemed to get that rut wrong right there. Got a little bit sideways and down he went. 3 lappers do separate TJ and this battle you're now seeing for second place on track. LV, Chase, and Cam pretty much nose to tail, so that's good news if you are a TJ fan out there for trying to win this moto and still solidify maybe a chance at winning the overall. But Chase looks fired up, like you said, wants to go get second place from LV. Now, we've seen the established lines come around a little bit. They're different, I feel like, than what we saw in the first moto about where these guys are going. Does Chase even have a definitive spot picked out to try to make this pass stick, or is he going to bank on a mistake out of LV and pounce at the opportunity?
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. He has 3 laps because time did just expire, but we'll see how quickly he tries to move for. He's looking down the inside, trying to maybe gauge his lines like he did with Cam last moto, gauge which lines are quicker and which ones he has to, rethink about if he wants to go for a pass. He might have to be a little more aggressive on, but there's lappers up ahead. You see Gooey go down, and now he's right behind him on this long straightaway where he's looking down the inside. Same move he did on Cam. See if he can get it done here. He can't. LV is going to get the drive all the way down this straightaway. Chase scrubbing the jump, scrubbing both tables, trying to stay as close as he can. See if he gets it done here by the end of this lap like he did with Cam whenever he tried to make the pass on him.
Yeah, not quite able to do it just yet, but it seems inevitable as LV tries to play some fantastic defense, and it does seem like that gap might be coming down to TJ ever so slightly as Chase took a peek down the inside. Still not quite close enough as they table all the way to the outside, rip that outside rut. Everybody's going there. And it's working still so far in this race. DA cuts across in front and just got punted out of the way as Chase was in the same rut as DA was trying to get into. I'm not sure he even knew he was there. Gets launched off the track, and now Chase still in a position to attack LV. Close with the lappers though, and that could definitely spike the heart rate if you're Chase.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be close between these two, but Chase really trying to make it happen by the end of this lap, going outside here. See if he gets a drive up this hill for the little tabletop. They both scrub inside for LV, and Chase is going to end up following him, and it's going to be really close by the end of this lap by the time they get onto that start straight.
Doubling up to the back, here we go. LV versus Chase, not for the overall anymore, as Chase is just about locked that down with his third place result in this one, but he wants more. He wants second. Maybe he still wants TJ. I don't even know. 2 laps coming up, though, as the 2-lap board is about to go out for your race leader, TJ. We're watching the fight for second place right now. LV and Chase just going at it. And LV, to his credit, has played a masterful defensive game thus far in about a lap and a half of having Chase right on his heels, because LV was actually the aggressor in the TJ battle, so he would only know the offensive attacks and not so much the defensive lines, but he's riding the defense very well as he blocks Chase from his main inside line right here. Doesn't go outside to take his proper line, but then changes back up to the outside right here to block that line. He's got eyes in the back of his head, I should say, it seems like.
Yeah, he's sticking to the outside lines, only going inside when it's absolutely necessary. And I mean, you see him here, he's, like I said, going outside to hold on to it, even though Chase is taking the inside line there, as he knows the outside is a little bit quicker up until the end of this. But yeah, he knows which lines are the dominant ones and which ones he has to worry about by the end of this lap. So he is holding off on Chase so far, and I don't know, it might be close and maybe a little too difficult for Chase to get around him, as it looks like he's losing time just by sticking behind him here.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like he's in the same flow state that he was, but there is still a lap and a half to go before we have got this thing fully settled. And it looks like TJ maybe just went down in front of these guys because he's only about 3 seconds up the road as they come over that tabletop into this U-turn. TJ launching back down the hill in front of them. Starting to see some different lines, and Chase is through on LV. He's in his second place, and he can almost see TJ up the track. Does he run him down with a lap and a half to go?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be close for him. He just has to get within, or get 2 seconds ahead of LV to beat him, and then he just has to beat TJ on track. So with TJ, another mistake up ahead, misses that rut. So these small mistakes are not helping him one bit, and Chase has a good chance of getting that 1-1, but he is slowly running out of time with only a lap and a couple corners to go here.
Starting to feel a little bit like a beast mode Eli Tomac ride, or even like the old El Chupacabra Blake Baggett coming through the field late in the motos and pushing all the way to the checkered flag, stealing moto wins late in the moto, getting him done on the last lap. Does Chase have a little bit more magic left in the tank after a brilliant ride through the field in this moto? He's going to win the overall, but he looks like he wants to win this moto. White flag is in the air. Your race leader, TJ, is coming through, and he looks shaky. He's getting out of sorts coming to the finish line jump this time by. Gap is down to about that 2-second mark, and Chase is going to get this thing so close.
Yeah, it's going to be very close by the end of it. 2.3 seconds. I mean, if LV is close, I think he only has 1 less second of cuts than both these guys, so just has to be within a second, and he could even possibly get a moto victory here. But Chase is making it close to the end, and he's applying the pressure to TJ. If TJ knows he's there, he's definitely got to be getting nervous late in this moto after leading all of it. Does Chase do the same thing he did to Cam and pass him late in the moto and try to take it away from him? Or will TJ be able to hold on for this next about half lap, maybe a little more than that?
Lines are getting brutal all around the track as TJ goes searching for one to the outside. We've seen Chase using this outside one coming down into the gully. Gosh, it is getting closer by the corner. It feels like Chase can see him. Lap traffic shouldn't come into play here with what's remaining of this racetrack. Oh, TJ gets a kick coming out of that corner. He went down, I think, a lap ago right into that corner and out of it. Chase is getting closer. It is getting down to the nitty-gritty. Half a lap to go. Deschambault. TJ trying to steal a second moto victory away after a restarted race 10 minutes into the moto. Chase came through from way back in this one, had to pass almost all the best guys to do it. Still has one standing in his way, but he's going to win the overall regardless. Few corners left to go, Talon. Who gets it done?
Oh, it's going to be close, but I think TJ, if he, like I said, 2 more corners and a couple jumps, and he just has to hold on. he got through this corner that he made a mistake in the last lap, and it's going to be close, but he only has a few more rough sections. He got through one of them right here up to this corner. He's got another one into this corner coming up here after this little tabletop. See if he could hold on. It does look like he's able to get around it, and so it looks like he might be home free here as long as he could hold it all the way through the switchbacks.
Nails that corner, nails the final lap so far. 2 turns left to go, and TJ will lock down a moto win here at Deschambault. He launches down this straightaway a little bit long, but lands in the bumps nicely. Gets through this corner clean. 1 turn to go. Here it is, folks. Moto 2 winner Deschambault is TJ, but your overall winner is Chase. 1-2 performance on the day. Beats out LV. Beats out Cam, who's going to end up going 2-4. KFC revenge tour after having this race restarted on him gets all the way back to 5th place by the end of it. But boy, oh boy, was it tight. Only 6 seconds separating 1 through 3 at the flag. Doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, definitely a close one towards the end. It's always amazing to see the racing with the unfortunate circumstances that happened here tonight, but I mean, it was great racing. Chase definitely made it interesting coming through the pack one more time. So, I mean, it'll be amazing to hear what he has to say about the track and how he's able to move through the pack so quickly and, you know, almost chase down TJ with only about a minute and 2 laps left to go.
Incredible performance by both TJ and Chase getting up there and mixing it up. So I think I have the overalls correct. I think that LV goes 3-3 to beat Cam to get 3rd overall, and then TJ goes 4-1 for 2nd, and Chase 1-2 for 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know. Math is hard.
Yeah, Chase 1-2 for 1st, TJ 4-1 for 2nd, and then LV 3-3 for 3rd, and Cam with a 2-4 for 4th.
Oh, you hate to see that. You get a 2nd in a moto and almost followed up with a podium in Moto 2 and don't even get on the box at the end of the day. But such is the way the cookie crumbles. I don't know if I've spoken with LV before. Is he from the U.S.?
I don't know. I haven't honestly heard of him until today, so
There you go. Fresh
I'm
face.
gonna go with maybe a no, but
maybe a no.
yeah, I think he might be more EU, seeing as we haven't seen him yet. Maybe that might be why, just because of, you know, time zones and all that. But if he wants to do an interview, we'll see if he joins in here, and then we'll get to talk to him about it.
Well, we do get to hear from Cam slightly as he checks in our YouTube chat and says, W Lapper put me in a pond. Nicely done. So a little bit of contact there with one of the back markers on the track right there. Unfortunate, but still, hey, good points at the end of the day for Cam. I think he only loses 3 to TJ, and everybody else pretty much in this championship hunt he gained on. So pretty good day.
Yeah, pretty good race for him. You know, only losing 3 points by the end of it. So, I mean, all in all, it's good racing. And like I said, Chase made it interesting. And, you know, he's able to gain a good amount of points. I think it's 5 or 7 points on him. But, yeah, still a, you know, good result for Chase, even though he is a little bit more farther back than TJ.
Absolutely. And checking in now with our guy Dizzle. 11-12 on the day for Dizzle. Should have been top 10 in Moto 1, honestly. Just those cuts screwed you at the end, but better day. Look good out there.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with it. It is what it is. I had a better race than normal, and it was on a track that I hold near and dear to my heart. So you know what? I'm literally not happy. I'm literally not upset at all. So,
well,
it
good
is
to
what
hear.
it is.
Good to hear. I'm glad that you're not upset, even a little bit. Not even one canyon deep upset.
Nah, it is what it is. You know, I'm just chilling in the track. You know, I think what it was is that the track itself was actually so fun to ride and play on. That it's just, I don't know, man. I was having fun the whole time, even though that second one I was getting bumped around, but. I'm trying to get these results right now, but my MXB's servers are being racist.
Rest in pepperonis. My MXB server is getting called out.
I have one question, Dizzle. Since everybody was hitting that big double from basically those 2 wall jumps, how easy were they in real life compared to the game?
The one that the big double?
Yeah.
It's okay. So pretty much on my 450, I was having to like kind of like soak up the little hump before it. Like you can't launch off it. You gotta like ride down it and use every bit of that hill, like third gear wide open.
So it's not as easy as bikes.
Oh hell no, hell no. That's a big ass jump. But I mean, this track IRL is beautiful. Like it is so fun to ride. It's nice dirt. The layout is super cool. I've always loved this track.
Well, I love watching it. Another track that I've never called a moto here before, so that was cool to see how it played out. And yeah, that big double was sick. I love seeing those guys air that thing out. Cool stuff. I like this track.
Yeah, I was hoping we were gonna get, you know, at least one of the TCS tracks on there because, like you said, it's not a track that you normally commentate on or stream or anything like that. So I'm glad we got one of the tracks out. Hopefully we can. I just added to the MX Bikes of Nations track from last year and this year to the track schedule as well. So we could possibly get those for the last couple of rounds.
Loving it.
So my MXB is being, like I said, racist. So, Talon, do you know who got the overalls?
It's Chase, TJ, and that LV, which I don't think LV is doing one.
Okay. All right. So we'll just bring Chase right in then.
All right. Here we are with the big winner of the day then. Chase getting the job done here at Deschambault. First off, congratulations. Hell of a ride, both motos. First moto gave us a thrilling battle to watch all the way down to the flag getting around Cam. And then the second moto, man, you were dogfighting all the way through the whole field, almost got to TJ in the end. You worked for it, but at the end, you get to reap the benefit and get the trophy out of here.
Yeah, I still had the overall, so I thought about trying to go for a little aggressive Hayden Deegan move on LV. And I was like, nah, that's going to suck for both of us. I don't want to ruin his race. But Moto 2, I could have won that, honestly. But I rode like garbage the first half of that moto. Just forgot how to ride. I didn't have my technique fine-tuned. I don't know what the problem was, but I was riding like buns. Not ideal. And then Moto 1, I just got a really good start for once. It's a lot easier to compete with the top guys when you start in the top 5 and not like 20th place.
Yeah, that was incredible to see both performances. Which of the two motos, though, I know you got the win in the first moto, but the way that you're able to recover in the second moto was even almost more impressive. Can you look at either one of them and say, like, man, I was happier that it ended up the way that it did, more so in the second moto maybe than the way the first one went?
Honestly, I think a little bit, yeah. Like, I can say I'm proud of myself after that recovery second moto. I wouldn't say I'm proud of the race that I did, honestly, because the first half sucked. I would honestly be a bit more proud of the first one. I feel like I had a lot better overall pace rather than speed. The second moto, I was faster, but, you know, I crashed 4 or 5 times in the first half, something like that. So, a little bit, honestly. I would say I'm happy with that.
Well, obviously the win is huge, but you did mention the start of kind of both motos, a little bit of issues, didn't get off the gate well. What do you even kind of work on to fix that? Like what's something that you can during the, you know, just ride sessions with your buddies or something that you can maybe work on early intensity or getting off the gate better? Like, I don't know how you fix that problem because it seems to be biting you every week.
Well, it's partially because of the bike I'm riding. The KTM is just slower than every other bike on the gate. So that kind of ruins my start already. Ruins any chance at a whole shot. But, I mean, honestly, like, I'm trying to play it super safe. I'm trying not to get close to anybody. And then it depends on the start. Like, first moto, I found a hole and then find somewhere, a gap I can go through. Made it through just fine. So, depends race to race. I might work on a setup so you can try to get more traction and get off the gate a little bit better. I might try to fiddle around with something, but I'm not sure yet.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, again, congratulations on the win tonight. Who would you like to thank for the win here in Deschambault?
You already know all the sponsors: Charge Cycle Works, Mountain Slayers, Bullfit, Liat, Grip It, Warp 9, all the boys. Shout out to Tubbo and the VC for yapping the whole time with me, keeping me nice and chill for the race. And as you boys know, as you saw in the name, ChaseBlackSuspension.com. Banger setups on there, actually tested by multiple people and not just my copy and paste on the website. So if you need any suspension coaching, suspension servicing, please go check that out or join the Discord at discord.gg/ChaseBlackSuspension.
Right on, man. Well, again, many congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you back here next week.
Yes, sir. Oh, thank you, Dizzle and Talon, for hosting and you commentating, John. I forgot you guys. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all.
That's
Appreciate it.
okay.
Thank
We
you.
certainly did not forget Dizzle and Talon always coming through in the clutch and making things happen. So appreciate
I
it.
just
As
want to
always.
give an update. LV is from Great Britain, and he has raced our series before. He raced round 1 and went 14-13, so definitely an improvement in 8 rounds later.
Wow, very impressive stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
You said TJ was second?
Yes.
All right, joined now by second overall and Moto 2 winner, Tyler J. TJ up in the house. Wow, turnaround ride in that second moto. Seems like you were maybe a little bit flustered or something in the first moto, couldn't get the groove rolling, finally figured out something in the second moto. What was the difference, would you say?
Look, one race I crashed, and the other race I whole shot. Well, basically whole shot, but yeah.
Okay, so it all comes down to the start. It seems like that's kind of the case a lot of these races, unfortunately. But yeah, so you get in the groove in the second moto. Did you know Chase was coming? Like, how close did you think it was going to get at the end? Because you did have a late crash. You had a bit of a gap, and then it got tight again. But were you kind of wary of that, or did you feel like you had it under control?
Got me by like a minute first race, so I was a bit like, oh shit. And then I looped it on the lap before the last lap. Rookie move. Loop my Larry.
Yeah, never good to loop the Larry. We were also talking during the race about your setup, obviously the broken back and everything that you've been dealing with. But are you up right now? Like, are you sitting in a chair all the time, or are we still on the bed? What's the deal?
If I race, I'm in my chair. If anything else, I'm in bed.
Okay, so still quite a bit of
Yeah.
pain for just like sitting longer than a half hour or so.
It's not really. It's just uncomfortable. The way the brace is just shit. I have a pillow behind my back right now, like on the chair, so it's got some cushion.
There you go. A little bit of comfort, something nice to cushion it there. What did you think of this racetrack? Aside from the chasms that were formed by the cheating, did you like the way that this one raced tonight? It seemed tight and kind of difficult to make passes, but also interesting how things set up too, right?
Yeah, it's my first time playing. I downloaded it right before the race, so I was a bit like learn it all at once. And racing was proper hard coming from the back as well. But track's sick. B-Clay does some awesome tracks. Guys to go.
Yeah, B-Clay always coming through with some great stuff. But again, congratulations. Big second moto win. Second overall on the day. Who would you like to thank for getting you back up here on the box?
SPX Performance for getting the setup to at least not kill me everywhere. Vulcan for the bike. ETO kit. Pax EMH. And of course, the Goat Washed. My king. We're all lucky Wash wasn't here because he's working right now. He would have dominated this race.
Oh
We're all-
shit! I totally forgot about Washed.
We're all lucky.
Damn, he
Wash
wasn't here.
isn't here.
You got
Yeah, good stuff. All
Oh
right.
yeah, we can't say that word.
Thanks so much for joining us, TJ. And again, congrats, man, on the second overall here tonight.
Cheers. Thanks.
All right, that is second place overall finisher TJ here at Deschambault. Now we get to join for the first time. LV joins the booth, third overall, 3-3 day. Hey, we're just talking about it. You raced this series at the start, didn't go the way that you maybe had hoped, but this is a massive turnaround, a podium for you coming back here at Deschambault. You got to be stoked.
Yeah, I'm well happy with that. I had 2 good starts, and yeah, just I don't know how I kept it so consistent, but yeah.
There was a
It
point in
was
time.
like,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, it was crazy with the E road, but I don't know. I just somehow just somehow got through it.
Yeah, there was a point in time where you were going at TJ for the lead a little bit, and kind of got him for a couple corners there. Were you aware that that was even for the overall? Like, you could have won this overall with how well you're riding at some points.
Yeah, I knew that, but I knew that they're just so good at like not making any mistakes, so it was going to be a struggle. But I was like, yeah, well impressed with third.
Yeah, I mean, obviously big for you to get here on the podium. What would you attribute like the big turnaround? Is it just that you like this track? Have you been playing a little bit more lately? Because this is obviously a big step.
Yeah, it's sort of similar to the rank tracks, which is what I'm used to. So I think that's why I did better. The ARL tracks I'm not that good at with like the roughness. So
Gotcha. Is that why you decided to race like tonight specifically and haven't been doing the other rounds, or it just worked out timing wise to do tonight?
well, obviously I didn't know the track, did I? But yeah, I just timing wise, I guess.
Gotcha. Timing wise. So what's next? Like, are you hoping you can come back next week and do this again, try to battle for a win? Like, it seems like the sky's the limit now a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's 4 a.m. for me, so like it depends on like I don't know. Depends if I can be asked, but yeah, it's a good series. So
Fair enough.
maybe see you next week.
Maybe we will. Who would you like to thank though for getting you on the box here this evening?
Thank DRS suspension for and NGS. That's it. DRS for keeping me upright the race. That's like W.
Right on.
It's true. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you joining us in the booth, and we hope to see you back here next week battling for wins again, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, that's the first time we got to chat with LV podium finisher here at Deschambault, and that is it for round 8 of the AOMX FXR Championship in MX Bikes. Dizzle, Talon, some final thoughts?
The points are a little bit different. I was able to get some of them updated, at least top 5, I guess. TJ has moved into that P2 spot. Brad has fallen down into P3. Chase has moved up to P4. But TJ is 23 back, Brad is 35 back, and then Chase is 58 back, and Wash is now 60 back in P5.
Gotcha.
So, as soon as
yeah,
we think
no,
the
I just
championship's good, it immediately opens back up.
right. Yeah, no, I just want to say, apologies to everyone for, having to deal with that cheater who kind of almost ruined the fun tonight. It sucks we had to restart both motos, but in other news, I'm glad we at least got to race Deschambault. It's a great track. I always thought it raced well, on this game, and like you were saying, Kellen, it's a track that you're not used to. You don't ever usually stream or anything, so it's cool. We got to have a Deschambault round for this season, and huge thank you to everybody that actually hung out and stuck it out to the end. I thought we were gonna lose like everybody. That was ridiculous for a while.
Yeah, I mean, kudos. They're like, let's do another 30. All right, I feel like that's cool of them to be like, yeah, let's just run it back. All right, cool, here we go.
Yeah, there was a couple people in there that absolutely were not having it, and they were like, just take the results before we reset. And I'm just like, I can't take results off of 10 minutes of a 30-minute moto. So, and then yeah, my dumbass decided to just forget to change to 20-minute motos. I was like, I'm not resetting this again. We gotta run it. But no, they were cool. Like most of them were pretty cool. They were like, just run 30s, just run it over, whatever it is, what it is. So yeah, no, big shout out to the guys that stuck it out all night. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, but you had a season best night, Dizzle. Season best night.
Did I?
Yeah.
At Deschambault, baby? I'll take it. Hell yeah.
Oh,
Let's go.
love to see it. Yeah, no, awesome. Glad to be back, and we will ride this thing all the way to the end now. Fantastic championship coming up. Won't want to miss any of the racing. We'll be back here, same time, same place.
We didn't
next
even
week.
talk about it. We extended the championship to 12 rounds.
Yeah,
we never even talked about it.
That's what I was going to say. So
yeah, we
we're
probably
back
should say
here.
something about that.
We're back here next week, I believe. I was just trying to find the schedule, but I think we're running 5 straight from here, right?
Yeah, we got 4 more rounds, round 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Right, 4. Sorry, there was 5 straight from here, but now
Yeah.
it's 4. Yeah, so we are back same time, same place next week and every week for the next 4 weeks. So tune in with us. What's the track going to be? I don't know, but it's not going to be one of the tracks that we've already done. It's going to be a whole new fresh face for us to race round 9 of this championship next week. Of course, big thanks to Dizzle, Talon. You guys are awesome. Run a fantastic series. Great stuff all around. And of course to FXR Racing, FXRRacing.com. Head over there and check out all their great stuff for 2026 and beyond. And that is round 8 of this championship. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in.